As you know, the show is on three platforms. So just making sure everything is fine and that everybody can hear me. Those who are logging in, guys, just let me know if my sound is fine there in the comments. We're going to have a conversation about women's football today, as well as some of the CAF stuff. As you know, Hollywood Bets League was won by Mamelodi Sundowns 2 days ago. They lifted the trophy, and that makes it a treble. They've won Hollywood Bets League. They've won the CAF. They won the COSAFA trophy, and they also took the Champions League. So this is a very, very, very strong team. Thank you, Malume Kuto, there in the comments for letting me know that you can hear me. So I'm going to go ahead and start. Welcome, everybody, to the Overthinking Football Show. My name is George Mokwena. I am your host. This show is on every Monday to Friday, 12:30 in the afternoon, and Monday to Wednesday at 8 p.m., even though next week we're going to be on at 8 p.m., Monday to Friday. So join me at that time. Today is the members-only show. Those who contribute towards the show, we have a WhatsApp group that we have together where we speak about football and things surrounding football. If you want to join that WhatsApp group, it's only 20 Rand a month at the lowest on YouTube. So if you go onto YouTube, click on subscribe, click on join, and then you'll be able to jump in for only 20 Rand and gain access to that WhatsApp group, and also to shows like today where it's just the members. Please remember also that all of the full episodes are there from all of the months we've been speaking and every single panel that's been on and all of that lovely stuff that is available on Facebook and YouTube. Really, really, really great conversations we've had, as well as some other content that I do that may just be a little bit long for TikTok. So they are available on that side. So if you want to support, I urge you to subscribe to all three channels, the TikTok channel, the Facebook page, and also the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is the Overthinking Football Show. On TikTok, it's Overthinking Football. And then also on Facebook, it's Overthinking Football. So today's not my show. I'm going to hand it over. I'm going to welcome my panel of contributors to the show. Welcome, everybody. How are you guys doing?
Sharp OT Lijamba too.
Right now, Sitabi. We've got others on the line. We have to act like we haven't been speaking to each other. So we'll see. So today's topic, guys, Hollywood Bets. We'll start with Hollywood Bets, and then we'll go into the awards. The nominations have been taken out, and there's a couple of surprises or perceived surprises that people say look like that way. How do you guys feel about the Hollywood Bets League, just generally? We'll pop it off there, then you guys can take over.
OT ha ba ne ba tswele pele ba try ho activate ntwena basadi e sebetse till like e sebetsa ko PSL. We can't wait. Ha ba tswelle pele mara ba se ba etsa ka di-university tsena tsa bona only ha ba batle jwalo ka ha ile 9 province ha di batluwe ha di etsuwe di-team ho etsale just like ho etsuwa ko PSL.
Okay. Tabi. Kumo?
Yeah, man, like I'm disappointed, because of Sundowns, I wanted to really start supporting the ladies football league, but now, like, I was disappointed to learn like we were supposed to be playing 3 days in a row. Now I learned here from you guys, sorry, one of the matches didn't take place. So if you guys don't take yourself seriously, I mean, as the organization itself, how do you expect us to convert us and for us to support you? Because you yourselves think your league is mediocre. When you do things like this, it brings a bad taste in my mouth and also to yours as well. Because now, what is this? What is happening? What is this? These are the things that we experience like on your lower levels, like maybe Moody LFA so one, because Mara, like I understand for like you are a semi-professional league, Mara, you should have a bit of decorum. Like who's running the marketing? Who's in charge of scheduling? Who's in charge of PR? Like, it doesn't make sense, eh?
And that's something that me personally, I've always spoken about, especially as well as the other guys like Abu Clara, Abu Steph. When they come on, they do say that, hey guys, you know how hard it is to do Hollywood Bets content. You can't find the log, you can't find the stats, you can't find so many different things. And those are, I'd say, more basic things that maybe they should have covered already, you know?
I understand, because like the things that I mentioned here, ne, it's exactly like I recently went to Mopani Football Association meeting, ne.
Okay.
What I complain about just now, it's exactly what they're also complaining about. Like, can we make the distinction between the levels of this league?
And then why happen OT how etsahala this Hollywood what ya teng why ba tlameha go papadiswa earlier ka bo 10 impa PSL di game tsa bona di tsala in the afternoon hantle ka nako bona ga go soka re le kana bona ntsona le di different e golo between bana basadi le banna why ba di matches tsa bona di bapadiswa o seng why
And also at the same time,
bapala today how to the game tsa PSL di tla ntshwa Saturday ha tsa banyana di dlale tsa basadi di dlale ka Sunday but the same time e seng Hussein ka bo 10 games tsa bona di dlala ka bo 12 not ka bo 3 like tsa banna di bapala. It's not fair.
By the way, this is Kuto speaking, and good day to all.
It sounds a bit, are you on a headset or something?
Yeah, okay, let me fix that quickly.
Okay. Sorry,
I'm sure
just
it's much better now.
There we go.
Yeah, and I can shapa the headset here, acting like I'm in studio on a radio, what, but it's not working out. I wanted to look cool. Well, to set my side of it, I actually disagree with our interview in relation to time and everything. I believe because it's being honest, it's a young league. It's in its 10 stages. We want it to succeed. Needs all the support it can get. Now, to play it at the same time as the PSL is like pitting it against the PSL. And you can see even the PSL is struggling to attract numbers. And I've done a semi-diagnosis, not proper, but I think even the time that the PSL plays, about 3 o'clock, could be a problem. Maybe earlier games. We've seen Real Madrid play about 11 a.m. I've seen such games. I'm thinking maybe people that busy and would rather attend games earlier on and then continue with their life later on. You understand? And besides, I would have thought teams like Royal AA, and I understand the issues study class and all of that, but I would have thought they would get a way to at least manicure the pitch to a degree where they can play 2 games on it. You know what I mean? Please have Hollywood Bets serve as a curtain raiser, and then have the main game. In that you get to activate and attract my supporters and somewhat present a value for money situation to say, okay, guys, at the 40 rand, I'm gonna give you 2 games rather than just 1 game. You understand? Instead of pitching at each other, at least pay them and have them work.
I'm
big agent, but I'm sure.
Oh, but I just arrived. So why just fighting me? I just arrived.
But now that I'm thinking about it even in depth, I can even see with you what the problem might be. The real problem could arise from sponsorship. Hollywood Bets, multi-choice King DSTV League. So that could also be a problem.
And the rights to Hollywood Bets lie with SABC as well.
Yeah, no, I've just thought about it. It's far complex than what I suggested. But you can still maneuver. You can remove the boards immediately after the relevant ones, and King, let the SABC crew leave immediately after the game. It's still it's not a mountain. You can move it actually.
Guys, it's an open forum. Anybody can jump in, guys. Let's talk.
I think maybe Kumo, excuse me. I just wanted to come in Kantoya scheduling. Wabo. Maybe middle ground yeah, until Sintabi Aibua. Is that especially I think it's Sunday games. I can see if some of you have seen the schedule. Already game it's about 4. These are at the same time. So now you have to choose one between all of them that you're going to watch because you can't watch all of them. So if you have devices, you can watch one on Facebook and then the one that will be showing on SABC One. So that aspect to say, like programming, can it not run the other days of the week? Is it possible to like move around the schedule? Ntho computerly PSL, it definitely e ka se sebeletse Hollywood Bets because I've seen when there are bigger games that are happening on the same time, PSL games take precedent in terms of broadcasting. And it makes business sense why that is, because Hollywood Bet is still younger than the other leagues or the other tournaments on the men's side. So I think it's just that to say how Nali, if they all have to play on Sunday, let there be morning games and afternoon games. That doesn't really make sense for a sport that you're trying to develop, because essentially what you've done with that, you've divided the viewership and you've divided it quite significantly. So it's that. And then the point, them playing before a PSL or before a men's game. Quite a few people have made that point. I wonder what the challenge on that side is, or if it's something that they're still going to implement at a later stage. But I've heard a lot of people making that point, and it's really like it's an easy grab to say. Mamelodi Sundowns ladies are playing, and then the gents are playing in the later afternoon. You know, the crowd might show up, not as much, but you are more likely to pull in a bigger crowd for the ladies sport. But then another thing is also I heard I was watching Toya Sundowns when they took the league, when they were interviewing the president Jordan. He said they are trying to get a deal where they are going to be able to broadcast more of the Hollywood Bets matches. That would be so great. But aside from that, it's just a matter of let's already live that go on Facebook. Can they just be sorted out? Like you can't be watching a match and cameraman like, oh Shela, that frustrated me so much. I gave that incident. And it's just those little things to be like, my guy, you are post-COVID, surely, except for Bo Agent, surely you know how to mute your mic. So it's those it's those things.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
Smaller
It's off the target, innit?
And just for interest's sake, which game was this? Maybe Nkathola Eklipnyana.
I don't remember. I'll go and check. I don't remember which teams were playing, but I'll go and check and then I'll send it in the group.
Okay.
But aside from Lynn Trahushela, like he'll be playing. If you go on majority of the games that are on Facebook, sometimes Walibala who mute that person and they'll just be chatting about, and you're just like, well, how's now commentator? Rather just mute and we can watch the girls on mute. It's fine. We'll go about our day. Okay, because now you're just like you're confusing the record. Now we're watching a picture that's doing one thing and the voices around it are doing another. So it's those small things that make watching and supporting the game frustrating. But yeah, hopefully next year it grows. Hopefully it gets better. But the other day also when that schedule, the 3 consecutive days, the match that Sundowns ladies had to play. When that thing came out, it was a matter of, okay, one, there's another tournament that's playing. So 2 of the teams that are featured there, they're not available.
Just for clarity, it's that USA They were at the
Yeah,
USA.
so they had USASA. Two, you know the teams are not available. One, two, it's not like I say AFL. It's not a tournament that just showed up mid-year. It's there. It happens. You know it's going to happen. But now you go as far as publishing that fixture and getting the outcry that fixture reaction caused. And it's not going to happen. So it's a matter of like PR wise, what are you doing? What are you saying? Like you are literally putting it out there that the league is not taken seriously. Those are things that you manage. Yes, it's not a professional league, but treat it with respect. Like there was no need for that fixture to go out actually.
Yes.
Because it was clear that the two matches are not going to happen. And once Sundowns wins the TS Galaxy match, they take the league. You could have just published fixture at TS Galaxy and left the other two. So it's those type of things. In as much as there's a lot of work, there's a lot of way that the league needs to go. I think we are seeing the benefits of it in terms of like the increasing standard of players that it's producing and how it's growing. Even the national team, you can see how they're very competitive and they continue to grow. So yeah, there's really a need for that, taking it seriously and moving with it, and like from small things. The post, why would you post a fixture that's not going to happen? It's so small. So yeah, hopefully things change next year. Yeah,
for me that's what really gets on my nerves. It's not the big things, like it's not the lack of commentators, and it's not it's the small things. Updating the website on time. There were games that were played. These are the results. They don't even have like deep multimedia graphics. It's literally just to say, these are the games that played. This is the new log. It's so hard. It is so hard to find anything related to Hollywood bets because, for example, yesterday's game, still now, there's no article, there's no announcement, there's no anything telling people that there's no game. There was nothing. Yes, okay, fine, you guys have decided something, but it's those small things. It's you're telling me that you can't have a photographer or something taking photos of the games and plugging them onto an Instagram, doing some like the little things mean a lot. And then when you get onto the big things, SABC owns the right to this thing. They play it almost every Saturday when it's Hollywood Bet season, when it's on, because they don't have the full rights to EPSL. And nobody knows about it. Nobody, there's no hype. It just plays. Like it's those Christmas movies, when it comes to Christmas in South Africa, and then for SABC One, they play those random movies. They treat it like that, like no announcement, and you're just sitting there like, oh, but guys, can't we do better with the small things that are meant to be simple things that you've done for years,
And also,
But like this,
why is the SAB so greedy? Clearly, they don't have the capacity to broadcast every matches. I mean, like they are fighting with SuperSport to get the whatever CAF matches, ne? And also, why can't free-to-air channels like ETV also air this stuff? They've got 4 channels that they can do, and they and happy the SAB also broadcast the EPL, whereby our teams should be there. Ne? The other thing ne, about this Hollywood Bet League, I think they've missed a huge opportunity for film graduates, for up-and-coming commentators, They could have at least went to after is a film school or your tax or TUG, and like saying, you know what, ne? We have challenges in broadcasting, and also because you are graduates, you want to like hone your skills in advertising, in broadcasting, in presenting, whatever the case may be. Ne? How about you do your internships or you do your volunteer work? Ne? You give those opportunities to young up and coming females, broadcasters or multimedia students, they should be in charge of the entire social media, the entire content. They should become Hollywood Bets influencers. They should become radio jockeys, whatever media there is. Ne? That way, I think it's gonna create a whole lot of vibe and fresh new ideas will be there. Also, you also getting the entire value chain into female entrepreneurships or broadcasters or multimedia people. Then we can actually grow this thing because clearly our ancestors at the SAB are failing to do such simple stuff, man.
Yeah, I wanted to ask Auslar there, even though he was attacking me, but it's fine. That I hear you guys are seeing same scheduling. I get it. I hear you on the same day. But unless if you're going to attach each team to a PSL team, it becomes difficult. With Sundowns, it's easy because you can say, okay, Sundowns can travel together and stuff. It's easy. With TX, it's easy. But what about others, So I think for me, that's like the main challenge for me. How do you...
I would have
Yeah.
a response to that, to say,
Yeah.
see the Campania multi-choice where they select a specific game as 100,000 Dun shootout. You use
Yeah.
the same modus operandi, but in this case, you like the game of the week for a Hollywood bet, and then you sort of tag it with the game of the week for a PSL. It might not need to be all of the games because we understand this would be more one directional, benefit Hollywood bets more than a PSL. So what you would do is, okay, we've identified Sundowns versus TS Galaxy this week, and next week we've identified the Royal AM versus JVW. Just as a means to try and expose and try and capitalize on the crowd attendance.
Okay, so it's going to be not every game, just maybe 10 games in a season, something like that.
At least as a starter. Then later on, go into what you suggested. I think, pairing teams based on locations as well as affordability. Because at some point, I don't think it's very complicated because then you would expect I'm just using them as an example. HAVW to use facilities like Orlando, and those facilities not owned by Orlando Pirates. They're being paid for in some way or the other, or Pirates is being paid to use it. Then how does JVW benefit from it? And there's go Orlando. There's these kind of permanent advertisements, if I may. Then it comes into the picture to say, can these these advertisement boards be displayed during a Hollywood Bets game? That does not become a problem. I do understand the commercial issues.
No, but I think for me, like I was saying, I think for me it's mostly the commercial issues are manageable things, for me, to be honest. Because if you go to Sundowns, we have read Blue Bulls advertisements all across the thing, unless it's a cup game or something. That's when they hire Vodacom staff. But league-wise, the Vodacom things are always up there for Blue Bulls, So I think
what I was saying to say.
Yeah.
Specific tournaments, I've noticed you can actually leave them hanging up there if there's an agreement. And for example, with the DSC Premier League, they let a lot slide in that fashion. However, once it's a cup game, then it becomes an issue. When it's MTN, then it becomes an issue with remove the Vodacom things or have like banners over them. We understand. So I wouldn't know how Hollywood would react to it.
Yeah. And then also on another question for me was how I don't know how the relationship between what Desiree is and Shabalala, because I think we talk about the rugby stuff, that the rugby coaches come together and stuff like that. But if a coach who's doing so well continentally, shouldn't he have some kind of influence maybe in Banyana? Just asking.
No. Desiree is doing Desiree Ellis is doing extremely well. We cannot pay a Bafana reaction to Sundowns as and try and equate it to a Banyana reaction to Sundowns. When it comes to Banyana, we have quality. With
It is
of course, within the context of women's football, we've got quality abroad. We've got players in Spain. We've got players in Mexico. Our main players are not even locally based. Like the players who play for Sundowns, and I say this with respect, cannot match the players but along overseas, and it's like they are light years ahead. We've got Bobo Kamang Katlana, who when
yeah.
presented with the
Super
World
same way.
Cup,
Yeah.
no, we are Baba. And the competition that Sundowns faces on the continent, sometimes respectfully, it's mediocre. We see some goals where you're like, oh, that one is not the one.
And then I think to come there, I shouldn't then be the narration that Banyana should be playing better, because I think I am against. I think I always said this of Pirates, and you guys may not agree. I'm not always interested in the end result. That okay, fine, you win, sure, but there has to be a process. And I look at Banyana with all the galaxy of stars that you're mentioning. It's not convincing, It's not convincing at all for me.
But the problem here, agent, to get to also support what Kuto is saying, first of all, Namuti is I would never allow that, because that guy in the next step he will be after my job. Firstly, secondly, you are talking about former champions. They are also that they are current champions, African champions. So there's no way you can say Terzoli is not doing a good job. And I'm not going to lie and equate CAF Champions League with in AFCON. I mean, they are former AFCON winners. So that alone tells you that Israel is doing a good job. Just that they struggled in the World Cup, but that's not the end of the game, because at least they got knocked out in quarterfinals, I think. So for us to now think, now we need to bring someone to assist her, it's more like an insult in their face, because I can make an example more Bruce right now. If Bruce can struggle, there's no way they will bring a Rulani to assist him. That will never happen. So if for us to try and do that, it's being disrespectful to her. If she was struggling, we fire her, we acquit Shabalala to the team. Simple as that. Not to bring.
Is it disrespectful though? I think for me, when it comes to the national team, I think ego should be put aside for the greater good, eh? But anyways, I hear you guys.
But okay, wait. To make it much more easier, do you think when Banyana is struggling in the African continent?
No, I don't think that they're playing convincingly with the galaxy of stars that they have. Even in the AFCON, they're not that convincing.
Saying they're struggling?
You can't say struggling the same way I can say struggling with Pirates because they're winning, But the manner in which they win, for me, is not convincing.
Can I kindly interject? You
Yeah.
know, I was listening to Mr. OT's other video. Not video. I was catching up to yesterday's episode, and I thought this is interesting. We are acknowledging that Sundowns is winning in a way that is not fashionable, that they're not dominating. We even going to the extent of acknowledging that the other teams actually have a foot in. I believe the example you should be using in Sundowns, that they're not winning convincingly, should then someone else step in and advise Rulan on what to do.
No. I think that's different, because Sundowns is not winning. No, it's not winning convincingly, score wise, but play wise, they're still playing good,
Absolutely dominated.
Hence I use Pirates, that the way you guys won, and I go back to the game.
No, wait.
Okay.
Agent, we are here. First half, Umuremi was all over. One man show. First half, not even second half. I'm gonna desist from the second half because I'm sure that there's consensus that Amazulu played well. I'm gonna talk about the first half. Umuremi literally dispossessed almost every ball within Sundowns' first third, and got so many chances. So
how many were clear-cut chances compared to Sundowns clear-cut chances there? Because we talk about conversion there.
I think just to refocus. No, go on.
If you had seen how many people were going off at Umuremi, including Dion, where he could have played the simplest pass and went for glory. So yes, there might be a combination of simplicity and complex chances, but the point I wanted to drive across was that in as much as a team might not be winning convincingly, we have to be cognizant which they are actually winning and not be disrespectful to the coach and try and suggest which they should be playing in a different manner when they
I think that's the problem with my typical supporters, that you guys look at the results, and when someone criticizes them, it looks like disrespect. I always criticize Ulani, and I'm called a double agent sometimes, you know. So sometimes
Wow.
you can win and still say, you know what, you're not playing well, you know. Is it a long-term thing?
I think it's framing. I think it comes down to the framing. I think we're framing Jerry, Ubab Jerry, Upra Jerry. We're framing him, Coach Jerry. We're framing him as somebody who's coming in to take her job. I think when I had this conversation, for me, it was in terms of the national team. How do you get better, and how do you maybe have another way of playing? How do you put together a brains trust of coaches that can sit under Desiree with Desiree and put together all of their different knowledge bands? Like, for example, the UWC coach did incredible this season. Should be somebody who should be called upon, and they say, "Hi, man, let's sit down and see how we can take the game forward or take Banyana forward, so that if Desiree's style of play doesn't work on that day, maybe there's something that Jerry showed her that could help. Maybe there's something Jerry can see from Desiree. Like, I think it should be more of a collaboration than a sort of a competition. So that's what they do in rugby. Rasi is the national team. Rasi is the national team coach. Rasi comes down and says, for the next 2 months, we're going to sit all of us as coaches. And all of those coaches sit in the same place and they all teach each other. Jerry, you coach Sundowns. I have some Sundowns players in my team. How do I make Ramalepe better? How can we speak about that? It's what Hugo Bruce has been crying about with the PSL. You get what I mean? That bring in those guys to have conversations. Sundowns plays a different football to what Desiree plays. I don't think it's a bad thing for them to sit together and trade notes, for them to sit together and interact in terms of the team. You get what I mean? It's not to compete.
And to add on what you're saying, before you guys speak, can I add on something what you are saying? I remember the interview that Coach Desiree gave when they were playing against Taurut side. He said he saw something and when they were defending, and then he recalled how Urulani changed Shelly's position. So he did the same with Utralakele, and it worked, you know. Sometimes it's about sharing ideas, you know, not that you're undermining anything.
Coach,
but also I think it's security
along with the TS Galaxy coach. I'm sorry, Austin. Can be part of a conference call with the TS Galaxy coach, Royal AM. He cannot be singing it out. And I just want to be clear, guys. Maybe there has been 2 games where Coach Des not look convincing, but Coach Des has been convincing for the longest time. I can refer
at the World Cup, he wasn't convincing.
No, wait.
But wait, guys.
I can refer you to the final, AFCON, and further, I can refer you to the World Cup and show you the caliber of teams, the structure of teams that she was playing against, and actually take you back to the games. The fact that everyone believes with Banyana would let games go due to experience. The coaching was proper. It was just the mental capacity. That's not kind of convolute issues here. Coach Des has been doing extremely well and on a better platform. Here we have teams that have no structure coming out of the Bundesliga. It's like a top 4, actually, if you get what I mean when it comes to the CAF Champions League ecosystem. The real team in Africa would be Nigeria. Does Nigeria have representation in the CAF Champions League? No, they don't take it serious. The players are out there playing for Barcelona, and that is what Coach Des is competing against, and not just competing but beating. And by the way, there's Umthetho in SA, which I'm so happy about. It should only be a lady that takes over Ibanyana, but you cannot be a head coach of any national team structure if you are male. And I'm so happy about, because Coach Des represents the South African dream, if I may. You have to be at least a former player who did it at the highest level and come and impart knowledge and actually do it as well. So Coach Des was a captain. Coach Des was a goal scorer for Banyana. She is the picture of South African football when it comes to ladies. I know some guys, please, yo, Coach Des, number 6.
No, Maracus, that's what I'm saying. Or from my end, I'm not saying that we're doing this to move Coach Des out. I'm saying that what we saw from Sundowns, whether they're playing whoever in some of those games, was incredible. You would love to see that at national team level, where we have sometimes lacked at times. So, for example, every team knows how to beat Banyana, or the European teams, for example. Tembi Khatana goes missing in some matches because she plays in a certain way. Now, I'm not saying that Coach Cherry has the answer, but I'm saying that you're allowing a brain's trust of other coaches who are also successful in a similar space to sit together, and who knows, maybe they get nothing, maybe they gain everything. That's what I'm saying. It's the same exact reason why Hugo Bruce is so hell-bent on trying to get the PSL coaches on his side, because he can go to TS Galaxy and sit down with Sid Ramovic and go, Sid, tell me a little bit about the TS Galaxy guys and how you guys set up. Maybe I can use that. Coach Rulani, tell me about how you guys do something at Sundowns. Can we sit together and share these ideas to make it better? I think it's not to fight to Coach Des. I've always said I wouldn't get rid of a Coach Des, but I would put people around her as well that maybe play a modern football too, so that when they make those changes or they need to do something, Coach Des herself has also said that, hey, sometimes I get too much into games and I don't see some of the subs. Sometimes I'm emotional about some of the stuff. So bringing in more people who have done it, whether we like it or not, Coach Cherry won a treble this year. That could be valuable for
let's hear Clara.
Mr. Ochi, I have a problem.
Can we hear Clara, please? Can we hear Clara, please? He has been trying to speak.
Okay, sorry. Clara,
I think, but then there's a thing that we need to overcome as a country. Our national teams, if we want to take them to the next level, we shouldn't be so hell-bent on maintaining what the customs of football have been. There has to be something that we do that is a bit outside of the box to get our national teams to the next level. Yes, Banyana is performing, and we've got nothing against that. They are the reigning African champions. They made it out of the group stages in the World Cup, right? But next time, how do we ensure that we level up? How do we ensure that in terms of club and national team, there's no breakage? Like, I don't know if you guys saw the conversation that has been had about Ramalepe, how she shows up go Sundowns and how she had a bit of a struggle go Banyana. Now, when she came back, they put her in a more offensive position, and she performed really well. She was, yes, defending, but you could see that there is an influence of she's performing better at club level when Coach Jerry places her at a certain place. Let us do that also, go national team and see how it plays out.
Can't.
But the thing for me
No,
is,
we can't.
Let's allow her to finish her point, guys.
wait.
Our voices are stronger, guys.
No,
I'm just
we want to correct something. Guys, you can. There's no okay. Because I want to ask a question, a simple question to you guys. Have you guys ever heard of anyone talking about asking Abu Kevin Hunt to assist Bruce? Just answer that, yes or no.
Bruce has asked.
yes.
Bruce wants it.
Bruce has asked.
Bruce wants it.
Himself.
No, I'm asking, wait. No, there's a difference to what you guys are saying than what Bruce was saying. Bruce is not going to tell them to come and tell him how he must play Sembazan. We'll play him how
That's not what we're saying.
No, that's not what we are saying. Look at, let me
And
give
also, guys, recommendations can be implemented or ignored.
Can I
You're
just
not
add something?
bound.
Can I just add
No, you guys are not talking.
Guys, can I just add something?
Yes, sir.
There's a difference. There's a difference between the world stage and the Champions League. You see the pass that Ramalepe controlled
I
from
wanted to check something.
100 meters away. When that pass came, she had so much time. the players are not fit, the opponents are not fit. She actually miscontrolled it. In as much as it looks like a nice kind of game control, if there's smarter players, I used to argue this around 2010 in relation to Itumeleng Khune, that he's a great distributor of the ball because of the competition that he's facing in the PSL, where players actually wait for Ushabalala to trap the ball. And then Spain visited us. And it was so difficult for Okune to get those pinpoint passes because, I mean, he's there. 18 layer. Why am I waiting for the ball to land when I can see it? Smarter players, when you play the ball, they actually approach that ball. They actually try and intercept that ball. Now it brings us to a point where we see, are you really good or is the standard really low?
Or don't look at it from, but Malume Kuto,
you're proving
don't look at it from that point then. Look at it from this point. I am the national team coach. I want to know more about Uramalep. Who better to speak to than Ucher? I am a national team coach, Bruce. I want to know more about maybe Sundowns. Maybe there's a player that I really want in my team that is not doing well, and I want that player to do a little bit better. Who better to speak to than Rulani? It's not to say that we are saying Rulani's tactics are better, but we're saying that surely bringing in some people with some other pedigree, whether you believe that it's better, whether you believe that it's worse, but Coach Cherry, for example, is the top coach in the Hollywood Bets League. So that means that if Coach Desiree wants to speak to somebody, let's say, about the Hollywood Bets League, about succession, we've spoken about how Banyana struggles with succession. Who better to speak to than Coach Cherry and say, okay, I'm Coach Cherry, Coach, I'm forgetting his name from UWC. Let's sit around the table as the guys who coach these players every day, as the guys who understand these players, as the guys who know these things. Yes, I'm winning right now, but maybe we could unlock another level if we spoke to each other and we came together with ideas. I think you guys are speaking as though it's a competition or this one must tell that one and that one must do it that way. No, it's sharing ideas. It's just going, oh, how did you do it? Maybe I might take some of the things that you do. Maybe you could even, Coach Jerry might be struggling with something or Amalepe that Coach Desiree is like, actually, I see her like this and like this and like this. At the end of the day, you'd have 2 points, both at club and at national level, where I'm using Ramalepe as the example, where she's got 2 coaches that are actively trying to make her better too. So it could actually improve her, for example, as it could improve Banyana, as it could improve Sundowns. Like, I don't think it's about the level of where they've played or what they've done. It's about if you were sitting down and you're saying we want the best minds in a specific vein of football, right? If it's under 15 national team, I want the best under 15 coaches. Whether Coach Loyo has won Ilikiapo 7 times ELFA, right? He's done it. Let's bring them in. Let's rope them in same way as Coach Desiree did with Coach Lulu. Because Lulu was doing very well at under 20s, and then they were like, oh, okay, you know what, because you're doing so well at that level with those ones that might be coming through to Banyana, let's rope you in and bring you in, and I mean, they've taken her out now, whatever, but we're bringing you in to try strengthen. I don't think there's a wrong answer in putting the coaches together. It's not to undermine anyone.
This is why with you asked. This is why with you asked the question. And this is why I said he can be part of a conference call. You see, once you start singling him out, you are suggesting that he should take a tactics arc. Unlike saying, ask a Hollywood bet coaches about the other players.
But that's why I brought up UWC, Malume, because that's why I said UWC finished second this year. Bring them in, whoever's the best at the level. And Coach Jerry also happens to be one of the best at the level.
I think what I'm saying is, I don't think it will be beneficial to bring all, I don't know how many teams are there, how many, 16 teams, you know.
No, we can. I'm fine with it. We can.
No, I'm on some, bring the best, maybe top 3 coaches to help with that, you know. I'm not all for bringing everyone in, for me.
Wait,
But
Clara.
my question.
Before Clara was talking.
Excuse Clara, we're talking
Okay.
before
No,
Banyana.
I was saying Coach here UWC is already in. Coach Tina is already in Banyana Banyana. And like, so it's already, you can already see that dynamic already working, right? Where a club university coach is in the national team coach, and they are still working fine along each other. It's just those things, yeah. And when you're bringing on players, obviously Coach Des is one person. She can't do everything. And the other day when they were playing the last match, we were asking Jorge, at the World Cup, we saw they had analysts. On a day-to-day basis, do they have analysts that shows them, oh, okay, coach, you've called out Michael, this is the strength. You've called up, what's this, Asanda as a defender, this is the strength. So I think the club coaches will also come with those insights to say, but the players that you've called in, Kiba, this is the strength that they come in with, and this is how you place them. But also it's a continuity thing to say, once Batruha from national team and they go back to club, what are the things that they need to keep doing to ensure that when they come back, they've progressed? And I heard Coach here, UJ, talking about that, to say when her players come back from national team, they come back better and they influence the team to perform better. So I think it's those things. And whether we like it or not, our league, semi-professional as it is, it still holds majority of our team. About 15 players in the national team come from this league. So these coaches can actually contribute. Yes, we have our stars, but it's 5 out of 23. So Hollywood Bets still holds our team in terms of numbers. Okay, Labon. So there's really a lot to be gained. And like I was saying earlier, you don't have to implement what is said. You just, the insight can inform what you do. It may be your idea, it may be the other coach's idea. Honestly, at this point, we don't care. We just want the country to perform.
And to add on that, guys, I think we remember the Bagatemba's one. I'm gonna liken that situation to this one. We came in hard. Why is Magani not in the national team? He came now. He said, "No, I'm already trying to succeed." And you're like, "What?" And then he succeeded in Mtala. My question is, Bruce thinking. What I think is when he wanted to rock in this guy as his ball boys and understand into Anazaki. Hence, that's why they declined him, telling him, that the person that is not as coach, I understand. That's why he had problem. But you look at the coach, guys. My problem is if we say we want to bring in a coach that will assist or a helper. I love the way that we are using now. She has to be the one to seek assistance. You understand? Not for us to say, maybe someone must seek assistance for her. I think if we do it like that, we are already saying she's firstly, we are now questioning her competence, firstly. And secondly, it then becomes an issue of why are we not doing that for Ibafana? Why are we not enforcing the very same thing as we enforce Bafana? Because actually, when you look at these two teams, the team that is more struggling, Bafana, but Ibanyana is already doing good, just that there are certain tweaks there and there. And guys, let's not confuse consistency, because some of the players, when they come back from their team to the national team, they are going to struggle. And I think Agent was saying they are not consistent. There's, Amar Zatswabo and the way they play. I'm saying, guys, there are games where you have to just get 3 points and leave everything to the ground. We're not going to expect them to play tiki-taka all the time. Look at Spain World Cup. You understand? I'm saying we need to accept that there are certain things that we can change and there are things that we cannot change, but we need to accept that we cannot change and let it flow. Not try to say, I'm not saying don't drop in Shabalala. I'm saying let Desiree be the one to say that, not for us to incite and say, do that.
But then isn't that the issue, Theo, for going forward, for progressing? Shouldn't we want to progress?
Yes.
You go regardless, because it's the same reason why if Danny Jordan is the one who's making the decision and Danny Jordan has to ask the question and we don't push for sometimes for the question, and not even to say that you're doing badly, but to do better. If he doesn't ask, do we then, let's say, move forward? So how does Coach Desiree, for example, go from getting out of the group stages to maybe making it to the semifinals or the finals of the World Cup? You get what I mean? Like, I think that's the conversation we're having. We're not having a conversation of saying, no, Jerry must come in and overtake Desiree, and then Jerry will take us. No, it's like, okay,
No.
Desiree, we've seen the level, right? And we were here. We watched the watch-alongs together where we were saying, Kare, there's sometimes like banyana ishota corner. So in plugging those gaps, can't we bring in people who are successful? You get what I mean? Maybe Ukos Cherry, we're bringing him in because he might have the last answer. You get me? Maybe
And I don't think, I don't even think that it should necessarily be that Coach Shabalala should even be on the bench. You know, he's just out
exactly.
there. You know, and for me, I think maybe I've seen the fall of Germany national team. You know, because they were so comfortable with Raheem Low that even when he was going down, because of what he has done, they couldn't say, Mark, let's help you there, you know, so that you maintain a level, you know. And it went so down that they had to get rid of him. I think it would be sad if we get rid of Desiree by firing him, you know. I think it should be a case of saying, you know what, he should resign on his own and say, guys, I've won the World Cup, now it's time for me to bow down, you know. I think that would be a way to end the career for him, you know. Not when he goes down and down and down.
Or let's support her. You get what I mean? Sometimes you're not doing this to undermine. Sometimes it's to support. Coach Desiree, we want to see you go to a final of a World Cup. So as a country, as this conversation, obviously, we don't know what they want to do, but as this conversation, hey, Desiree, how about we do this? How about you bring in Coach Cherry and sit down with him? Maybe there's something there. How about you bring in Uzbanban? How about you bring in Rulani? How about you bring in, you get what I mean? Same with Bruce. Bruce, you're not doing well. What was our complaint, Bruce? Theo, what was our complaint? Our complaint was...
That's what I want. That's what I wonder if we can do that for Bruce. If you can do that for Bruce, I 100% support you.
But what were we saying about Bruce? Bruce, now Sundowns are winner. You are picking Sundowns players to make your team better. Tala no Rulani, maybe. Nibonsane, but okay. Maybe another answer to a question could be this. Maybe, you get what I mean? Maybe I've got Bruce's plan, I've got Malume Kuto's plan, I've got Agent's plan, I've got Clara's plan. And maybe in this game, in this 15 minutes, so Mankalena, so that I can, when you see this Ngozwane, I see this Ngozwane, but you know what? I noticed 60th minute Ngale game, he was doing this. Maybe your way was working. Now Rulani might look at Bruce and go, we're trying to be this hard-nosed 1-0 team. Maybe go Africa, we can adopt some of, like, it's to get better, guys. It's not to undermine anyone.
Like, honestly, like, let's have an upfront one. Because there's a level of disrespect. And Gavin Hunt also acknowledged the way we address Hugo Bros is very disrespectful. This is a guy who played at the World Cup. This is a guy who's won the African Cup of Nations.
Yes.
By a bunch of people who have not even qualified for their own continental showpiece these days.
In their country, Malumekuto. In their country. Who knows Hollywood bets better than Ucheri?
And let me tell you, in their country, they've even failed to beat some countries like Sobuseda Gangani. Abo Paka would come through, Shapa some amazing. Shapa some amazing own goals. Abo Kune would be spilling the ball into the net. And you know what? Paris players would be doing the worst as well. You understand? Abo would be coming in Barcosta, what is this? And someone through and Arwa apply, Arwa invite her back, and then we just mize him and dismiss him. So I just want to ask, do you think on a day-to-day basis, what you encounter, does it not frame your mindset? What you encounter?
In what way?
So basically, if you're consistently answering 1 + 1, 1 + 1, does it not then mean you'll be great at answering addition? Whereas someone is asked about solve for X if D is equal to B and B is equal to don't divide by one. So I'm saying we sometimes exaggerate. And for me, as a kid who grew up loving football, who grew up listening to Ama adults, for me, the fall of Bafana Bafana was the exaggeration of the PSL. Was the turnaround to say we don't need overseas players. The turnaround to say.
But that's not what we're saying, Malume Khutso. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is you have something.
I want to get his point. I thought he was getting to the point because I'm still confused where we're going with.
No, but agent, I think what's happening in this conversation is that there's a misunderstanding. No one is saying Bruce is not good.
No, there are 3 points to this conversation. There's a point that I hold, there's a point that you hold, and there's a point that agent holds, right? And trust me, what you and agent are saying are 2 different things.
No, I do. I noticed that to a degree. I noticed that
to a degree. Like I think there is where we overlap. Okay. Sorry.
So I just wanted to say, what if you deal with the Cristiano Ronaldo problem, you cannot go to someone who deals with the Mokopa problem and say, can you help me answer a Cristiano Ronaldo problem? Because I've seen you deal very well with the Mokopa problem. When you deal with the national stage, you deal with the best of the best, the cream of the crop. To now suggest that someone, and I'm addressing agents specifically, to now suggest that, you know what, this person is not consistent when dealing with the Cristiano problem. Let's use a Makopa answer. I think that is very short-sighted, which is why I say in national team, that's where we fell when we thought Abo Payne and Abo Quinton Fortune could not be Nanga, and we had to rely on Abo Chabupuli, who was.
Can you explain the Makopa problem in reference to Banyana? Because I don't get the analogy, to be honest.
Desiree Ellis deals with players in Nigeria. That's what she beats. Desiree Ellis deals with the players.
With which players? With which players?
The players she uses, PSL. She not PSL. She uses players from the PSL. She uses players from overseas. Which I mean, literally.
No, as you heard the statistics, only 5 are from overseas.
Yeah, and that's the 5. And we've all agreed at some point that Banyana had 5 players in support cast. Have we not?
No.
And it showed.
No.
And it showed at the one stage.
No.
I wanna use your analogy, Malume Khutso. I wanna use your analogy. My thing is, you have coached Ronaldo. You've dealt with Ronaldo problems, right? In Hugo Bruce's case, you've dealt with Ronaldo problems.
Against Ronaldo. I want you to coach against. That's why
Okay, well, no, wait, let me change it. Let me change it. Because you were like, he's the guy that has won the AFCON, that has done all that stuff. So my analogy is, you've driven Lamborghinis and you've fixed Lamborghinis and you are an amazing mechanic at fixing Lamborghinis. No, Cameroon, the team that he won with is completely different to us. But what I'm trying to say is, you've dealt with this and you've dealt with the specific issues to that country and you won. I give it to you, right? I can then say that you can be good at fixing a taxi. And you probably know everything to doing a taxi and you understand the engine and everything. But at some point, you're going to have to call in a specialist at taxi to come and he might just need to help you with spark plug. Just the spark plug, right? But that's what we're saying here. Desiree has done so well at Banyana level. It's great, right? But in her we haven't gone to a World Cup final, let's say. And I know it's going to sound like a crazy thing. What I'm saying is, for me, bring in as many people that can help the success that Desiree already has and move it forward. In the same vein as Hugo Bruce. When Hugo Bruce arrived here, he was like, no, I don't want Sundowns players. I want to do X, Y, and Z. Ne? He was given an answer in the beginning. Remember when everybody was fighting him and the PSL players were fighting him? He was given an answer. Chigi, 6 months later, he implements that answer. You get me? No, wait, no. He didn't want Tembazwane. Okay, I'll use exactly. He didn't want Tembazwane. Whoa, it's not propaganda. He didn't want Tembazwane. He said Tembazwane was old. He said, I wanted to bring young players. I want to do this. All of the people around him, including the PSL coaches, were saying, guys, Tembazwane is the one. Ne?
Well,
Manje,
The
no,
best-
wait.
Well, there was
6
something
months later,
about
wait,
Adelaide.
Malume Kuto, wait. 8 months later, he comes around to that answer. Ne? And I'm saying, maybe that answer could have been step 1. And maybe Bafana are even better than they are. Not worse, not saying that they're bad. I'm saying that maybe if at the beginning he sat down with some of the other people, it could be better. You get me? That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying Hugo Broos is bad.
And-
I'm not saying Desiree is bad.
Mr.
I'm
OG,
saying that
I
bring
have
in
a
some other
different
people.
proposal. I have a different proposal to what you just said.
Hmm.
Oh, Hugo Broos comes into the country and we tell him to select the entire Sundowns. He does it. Guess what happens? Sundowns buys the entire Bafana Hugo Broos and then wins the FA.
Hmm.
That is the actual case. The only difference is Tembazwane. And everyone's like, no, we need Tembazwane, and not just Tembazwane.
Wait, so are you
Also,
saying that
Must-
are you saying that
Mudau as well.
Sundowns? Wait, are you saying that Sundowns
Mudau
is
as well.
playing
I
and
know I know you love the truth too. I like that's why I love you, man.
No. I'm still sticking with Malume Kuto. I'm still there because even your analogy is still the same way. It's still the same thing. Sundowns bought those players, brought them in. Who deals with them every day? Urulani. He's taking them to AFL. He's taking them to all these things. So would it hurt you to bring Urulani in? You get me? Nobody was thinking of these players like that when they were at their clubs. They were signed by Sundowns, great. But then when they got here, they're a completely different beast. So I'm not saying who came first or whatever. I am saying, does it hurt you to bring in Urulani? Does it hurt you to sit down with Shabalala? Does it hurt you?
That part of answered. And that's why I made the distinction between what you are suggesting and what the agent is suggesting. And and I understand. That's why I said in a conference call, yes, you can come and sit in along with all the other 16.
Or in a conference weekend or whatever, but you're
Yeah,
bringing in
along
all
with
these people
all
to
the-
help.
Along with all the other 16
Yes, no, I'm there. That's why I used Rasi.
Yeah,
Rasi
that's why
sits with
Kerry-
all of the coaches.
That's why I get it with you. I understand. I want to make a distinction between your argument, which is almost similar but very different to what agent suggested. Now, to single out Temba as Sundowns and then say, look at how Sundowns is playing. That's how we should play. That is very wrong. That
That's
is
not what I
very
said.
dark
No.
For me,
no.
I don't know if that's agent. For me, that's not what I said.
Abutu Kuto, me and George are saying the same thing. Listen,
George is
I mean,
saying
I give me
something
time to
very
speak. Give me time to speak.
George is saying
Let's
very-
be civil.
address
Let's
what
be
you are
civil.
saying.
No, listen. I am all for. I think George is Mr. Mukwena is on some. Is on a bigger issue. And I'm saying let's zero it in on. I don't think, with due respect, a team which finished 16, his contribution or her contribution, the coach, is going to be that significant for me. For me, I'm on some bring in, even if it's top 5 coaches in the league, you bring those, you zero it in. Because for me, if it's 16 people in one room, it becomes a crowd, and I don't think it becomes effective. I'm on some, let it be specific top level coaches in the team. We might disagree. Let's say even if we disagree on the number, what we are saying is Desiree needs some help in one way or another. That is the main broad point. We can disagree on the number.
But you're trying to
Okay,
put
disagree
the
on the
envelope into disrespecting the coach. Let's not say
Desiree. Let's say Banyana. We want to see the best Banyana.
Because I can tell you now, which there's a team that finished 16th that used the player, and we could all agree that they used the player very effectively. Kanakima Uranga Chivaviro was very effective when being used by Imarumo Galans. Would you not agree to that? But is being effective right now. Would you not want to call that coach who finished number 16 to say, actually, coach, we saw Uranga was killing people. Do you not want to assist us with how you use them? So you can't just throw out a coach.
No, if
analysis,
you see now, that's when we are saying I've picked a player from number 16. Are you gonna tell me the coach picks all players in all the 16 teams?
If when a player in corner, let the coach talk to you.
No.
So Malume Kuzo, are we agreeing here?
No, we're agreeing. I've been
Please, lead
straight
it.
with
Okay,
I
then let's
disagree
go.
with agent.
Yes, I think now we are
Hey,
agreeing about the technicalities.
Clara,
No, you're
don't
on the
let agent
technicalities.
trick you into agreeing with something we don't agree with. Agent is pushing the envelope of Coach Temba ahead of Coach Des.
No,
As a conference, it's fine.
no,
But when it
no,
comes to pulling
no.
out a specific coach and a specific style of play and saying maybe we should be using that, that's why I come in and say no, but that's disrespect. This coach
No,
with
no,
their
no,
own
no,
people.
no.
And
I
I
think
keep going and saying, it's Sundowns. There they try to push into Bafana. We ended up pushing Ibafana into Sundowns. Like the entire Bafana team is being signed by Sundowns. Abo Obas, Abo Mvala, Abo Mukwena, Abo Robin Williams, Abo Mudiba. These are players who are already for Bafana. So the actual matter of fact is, Bros has been actually, Orlando should be calling Hugo Bros saying, hey, how are you using these guys? I saw they're almost qualified for you. You are so dope.
no. Let's close that one.
Wait,
For
okay. Go on, agent.
Me, it's not a case of we can't rely on one style of play, if I can put it this way. We saw that. I think this is gonna seem somehow, but I think we saw that different teams require different playing styles. I think Bruce naturally he is a defensive coach, and that is fine. But even him, even him. Can I speak?
Sorry.
Even him, he had to try and say, but I think the passing style, because of the players that I have, works better for them, And I think we complained on this platform that it's like you're copying page 9, because the way you're trying to play with the Sundowns way, you put Umvala and Kulu there, but you don't have Okotia there. So for me, it's not necessarily that I'm saying Desiree move away, coach takes over. No, he is always going to have the final say, in my opinion. But it doesn't have to say, but let's try and have a backup plan, a plan B and a plan C. Because I think coach Desiree fails when it comes to plan B. And again, the deficiencies that Banyana has in terms of crosses, the Sundowns team doesn't have. How do they correlate and fix that for the team? So for me, I think the national team supersedes anyone, even Coach Desiree. It should be Banyana first and then Coach Desiree and others.
I would love to interrupt you. You see the Cristiano Ronaldo Mahopa question that I was asking?
I don't get the analogy, to be honest with that, but okay, continue.
That's why I keep on. I think that's an opening for me to explain it. You say Sundowns doesn't have a crossing problem. It's because they're dealing with a Mahopa issue. Whereas Banyana has a serious crossing problem because they're dealing with CRC. They're dealing with top quality. When the balls come in, they're dealing with top quality strikers. Now it's a problem. I remember growing up, Kune would be flying in the PSL, catching those balls like there's no tomorrow. Let's go into the world stage. That's when I learned was actually Kune is very short. I didn't understand how was he struggling against Mexico to catch those balls. He had to punch everything because he's used to dealing with strikers like Abo Walaza in the PSL. But on the real stage, it's Haaland, it's Cristiano Ronaldo. So you can't say, you're dealing very well with that is exactly my point. You can't say
no, but
dealing very
okay.
well with crosses. Come and deal with it. Only to find out which your tallest player is a midget overseas or is a midget on the world stage.
No, but the way if you just focus on the whole cross situation, I think those are standard situations which can be rectified, And Omalepe, we see everyone sees Malepe plays better on the wing, not as a CB.
Now I'm hot in my hood until I get to play real players.
So I think for me, you're just undermining the Champions League, the level. I think the ladies, the level there is very good. I don't lie to you, So I don't know. I think let's just say
let's go.
We agree to disagree.
Let's go into the thing we're going to speak about. Clara, I'm going to have to lean on you a little bit here for some of these names because I get away. We're new to Hollywood bets. We're learning. We're just going to go through some of the nominees. They are 1, 2, 3, 4. Is it 4? Yeah, there are 4 places, 4 categories. There we go. Player of the year, we've got Wendy Shongwe from Tax. Mbongeka Kamete, we've seen her at national team level. Witumelo Rabale, we've seen her for Mamelodi Sundowns. Young player of the year, we've got Adriel Mibe, we've got Mawatu Mokhale, and we've got Sikelelwa Mhlanga. And then the hot one, goalkeeper of the season. We've got Kalen Swart, Katlego Moletsane from Royal AM. Kalen Swart is from JVW. Rigel, I can't see it properly. Yeah, Rigel Ngobeni from UWC. Remember, guys, UWC finished 2nd this year. Then we've got coach of the season, Tina Sonkembuli from UWC again, 2nd by a very small margin. Coach Jerry Shawalala, Mamelodi Sundowns, and also Coach Maud Khumalo from Amadax. I know we want to go to the goalkeeper one because that was the one that was discussed in the group. How do we feel about some of the nominees here?
Can I ask Clara something before I comment? How many games did Buseja play and Dlamini play?
Dlamini.
I don't have that comparison for Hollywood.
We couldn't find that stat as well. I couldn't find.
No.
It's tough to find anything Hollywood bets. Back to our first problem.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because I think for me, I know I'm not a devil's advocate, guys. I'm just saying. I'm not a devil's advocate. I'm just saying. Would it be fair? Let's say there's 30 games. Would it be fair that a goalkeeper which played maybe say 10, less than 15 games or maybe 15 games wins the goalkeeper of the season compared to others who played 30? I'm just saying, guys.
I think there's a lot of dynamics here.
Who are you comparing?
No, because I know Buseja and Dlamini play interchangeably, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm worried that maybe hence I wanted to be sure of the statistic that how much did they play, you know, so that
we all know where this question boils down to. We all know where this question boils down to. It's a remnant of national team. Swart versus Dlamini. We know where it comes from.
I'm with Agent on this one, Mr. Oti, because.
But Oti, I was also surprised as well.
If you're gonna try and push Kanakimang Dlamini and say no, she's nominated Kokev, she probably played all the games, and come on, Hollywood bets. It's been that keeper who I actually think.
No, I understand you. I'm just saying that we know where it stems from. Like we don't, like for example, with these nominations, for example, a young player of the year, we don't have an opinion about Adriel, about Mabatu, about Sikelelo, right? But in goalkeeper, we don't even care about the other 2 goalkeepers. Nobody's. It's because Swart is there that you're asking these questions.
I think the questions is coming from what is it called? He's like what Kuzo was saying. That he's nominated Kochev. I think that's where the thing is coming from. Kochev is nominated, and if he wins it, Kochev, does it mean he should win it for Hollywood bets?
I just thought there was a conversation, but we've never had that conversation about Bafana and PSL.
No, it was Theo who was starting Zabalazo here.
We know where it stems from.
Someone won is nominated Kokev, and therefore by default. But I just I'm so sorry. I just have to do this. So OT, you're off not OT, Agent. You're off the view or someone who played lesser games cannot necessarily win goalkeeper of the tournament, even if maybe, let's say she plays 10 games and keeps 10 clean sheets. Are you off the view? It would be unfair for someone who maybe played 8 games. And then
I think for me, it's a numbers thing for me. Can you talk it in terms of ratio? Let's say that one played 10 games, right, and kept 10 clean sheets. Would you not give it to someone who played 30 games and kept maybe say 16 or 18 clean sheets? you
No,
know. And
I
also, can I say this? And also, let's not even look at clean sheets also, and look at the save percentage. Looking at, I think for me, hence I always say, for me, Ronan Williams is not the best keeper in SA because you look at the defense and the team that he's playing for. You know, is this save percentage that good?
factors. But what I was asking.
I say no, Malume Kutz. I'm gonna give you a straight answer. For me, it's a no.
Now, I wanted to stick to what I asked. If I get 9 clean sheets out of 30 games and you get 10 out of 10,
It's unfair. I still say no.
you still say no.
Guys, can I broaden it?
I know a coach.
Uh,
I know a coach who didn't play the entire season, but it was okay when he won coach of the.
No, but that's what I'm saying for me.
Hence I didn't want to go into that trap. I just wanted to go forward.
No, do you know
I
why?
shift ratios.
I say no, Malume Kutz, and the reason why I say no, in my eyes, for whatever coach or goalkeeper or whoever, the reason I say no is that we've only seen you for 10 games. So we don't know how the rest of your season could have gone if you played all 30. But unfortunately, the other people have the unfair part of having to play 30 games, if that makes sense. So
No,
I
I
don't
get-
feel it's
I-
fair in my
I
eyes.
can actually explain what you're saying. Which what if you in the first 10 games you keep 10 clean sheets, and then in the next 20 you concede with 5 per game? Then what? I get what you mean, but Nick Butler expressed an issue here. This other great coach who's coach of the season.
Hey, Mara. Okay. Since there's not that much talk on this one, I want to go to CAF, but I want to focus on the women categories as well. We've got the Player of the Year on that side. The 3 nominees. Thembi Kgatlana is there. Barbara Panda from Zambia, and then Asisat Oshola from Nigeria. Those are the 3 that are represented there. Then Interclub Player of the Year, we've got Refile Tolagele, my fave. No, Refile Tolagele. Fatima Tagnaout from AS4. We saw her in that game that we watched when Mamelodi Sundowns played against them. And Lebogang Ramalepe is Interclub Player of the Year, the nominees there. Then Goalkeeper of the Year, we've got Khadija Ermichi. She looked very suspect versus Sundowns, but it's fine. Chiamaka Nadozi. And then from Nigeria, then we've got Andile Dlamini from South Africa. Then for Coach of the Year, Women's Coach of the Year, we've got Reynald Peoros from Morocco. We've got Desiree Ellis from South Africa. We've got Coach Jerry Shabalala from South Africa as well. And yeah, for the women's side, I believe those are the nominations. Well represented, our country in these the women's side.
No, Slice on my 11 for me. I don't even want to hear anything. My 11. Wherever he is, he must win whatever it is in there. Goal of the season, player, whatever. Where is Tola Kelly? You know, I don't want to hear anything. Just like him, I shoot from any angle.
Oh wow, yeah. I think okay. Maybe let me just run through them very quickly for my side. I think player of the season, Hollywood Bets. I would say Bongeka.
Okay.
And then young player of the season, I would say Mogale. Goalkeeper, I would say Rigel. It's controversial, but yeah, that's my guess. And then coach of the season, I would say Tina. How compare performance,
what he did.
she has done amazing. And then Kev player of the year. I'm rooting for Thembi. We know Go Asisat, we stand. It's very competitive that side, but I hope Thembi comes away with it.
I don't want to hear your hopes. Who's taking it? I see what you tried to do there.
And then goalkeeper.
Player of the Year. Is it going to Oshola?
No. I think it should go to Tembi. I really think
Okay.
it should go to Tembi. When you look at national team, when you look at well, club, it's touch and go. But anyway, it is what it is. But I think Ashola for this season, she was not at her
She was
peak.
mid.
She had great moments, don't get me wrong, but I think Tembi was just performing this time around, be it World Cup, be it what's this club level. I think Tembi should come away with it, but re tla bona teng.
Do
But
we
yeah,
punish Barbara before we move on? Do we punish Barbara for maybe not coming from a strong team, if that makes sense?
yeah, we do, because that's the thing that might cost Tembi also. That's the thing that might get Assisat over the line. Because when you look at club level, the caliber of players compared to the other two players, you really can't. And that's how she gets to then do what she does. So it will definitely cost them, yeah.
Wasn't Stingy injured for most part of the season, Len?
Mangoshola?
No, Tembi. Wasn't she recovering this year from injury?
Was that not this year? I think it was
She came
Refilwe. Maybe it's Refilwe. Refilwe got injured at the World Cup, and then also Juice.
No, before the World Cup, just towards the World Cup, I thought Tembi was injured and recovering because she limped off Mosca AFCON. But maybe I'm mixing my time.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I don't know when she came back, but I must say, Liena, the moments, the big moments that she's had, they have been after the World Cup. But I saw what was happening before the World Cup.
Okay. You are going on goalkeeper?
Goalkeeper makes me mad because I feel like had Andile been given a chance, it's between Andile and Chiamaka. For me, goalkeeper, I hope Andile comes away with it. I really do. I think in terms of club, she has had a good season considering CAF. I don't know though. Chiamaka is doing a lot, Liena, for club, because I think there was the latest match where she got her team through. She's performing. Coach of the year. Wait again, controversy. I'll say Coach Des. I would say Coach Des because of the whole historic moment at the World Cup for Coach of the Year. Yeah, and then club, obvious, Sundowns, it's an easy one, that one. And then
Interclub
country,
player.
South Africa. Interclub player. Oh, guys, now it's again where Ramalepe dies, I die there. You can't convince me. The same way, but I am a Ramalepe stand, so that's where I'm standing.
Okay, gents. Everybody else, does anybody want to give their predictions here?
I'm disappointed. And I know most gentlemen throughout the globe are disappointed. We all know which there's a player who should have been nominated, who kept us glued to the screens. And I'm sorry, Oscar, if this is irritating, but Alozi deserves some kind of nomination. If you know Alozi, that player deserves at least.
I'll speak for myself. Everybody knows. Everybody knows if you go there. But I'll keep quiet.
Oh, wait. I want to ask a question. Let me ask you, Clara. Clara, Andile, does she really deserve to be up here for goalkeeper of the year with the knowledge that she didn't feature much for Banyana?
No, and that's the thing that makes me mad, because I feel like had she featured, she would easily be over the line. But I get it. Now, are we considering her participation in terms of national team, or is it club level? Because I saw their club thing.
Because I'm not seeing they don't say club here on this one. That's what confused me a little bit.
I'm also confused because when you look at the icons, the icons are their club. It's not the icons are their country. I don't know. But if it's combined, she's definitely not gonna get over the line, because Chiamaka performed Go World Cup. if we're gonna put in country in there, Andile is not even gonna
Should
compete.
Kaylin sneak in?
No.
Okay, I just wanted to
I think
ask.
they should have nominated Kaylin instead
Yeah,
of
like she's done well UWC. She was the goalkeeper for us at the World Cup as yeah.
And you know what?
Was gonna
She
lose
was
it for sure.
nominated,
That
she just
one.
didn't
That
make
one
the
was gonna
shortlist.
lose it for sure.
And you know what?
Including one.
The thing about Kaylin, at the risk of sounding controversial, her mistakes are exaggerated as opposed to how we take her brilliant saves. There are moments where she really kept the banyana in the game. Even recently,
Peterson.
she pulled off some great saves. And I'm a South Africans have this thing which when they love you, they will expect everyone else just to save you. And it's nothing personal against Kaylin. It's just that they were calling for so loud that they end up disrespecting everyone else. I've seen some great saves from Kaylin Swart. If the teams, the matches that we've won, she might have conceded some sloppy goals, but there were saves that were like guilty.
My question to that is, we talked about Ellison, we talked about Peterson. Like, isn't she that type of a goalkeeper who will save you and kill you at the same time?
I think she's killed by height. I think the only weakness is height, and when you play against the European teams and those teams, when she plays African games, she's really good.
But at least my problem with her situation, it's not just one game, guys. If you watch, I kept on saying one thing, which is at least go and challenge and lose the ball, then we can have a problem. Or maybe if you punch, you'll miss. Understand? It's like it's one thing when a goalkeeper is supposed to be dictating the small area, like the 18. Yet she's always found one thing. Like she made careless mistakes, and I'm not judging her and comparing her to Andy. But what I'm saying is there are certain elements that makes you an outstanding goalkeeper and a good goalkeeper. She's a good goalkeeper. Don't get me wrong. She's good. You look at, as I said, Peterson or Ellison, they are very good guys. But you wouldn't compare them to Courtois. You wouldn't compare them to Martinez. Why? Because those guys, they're outstanding. They're outstanding in most important, delicate situations. Whereas, if you take an Ellison into maybe makes a Germany, so you might have a problem. He will be making those poor mistakes and will have a problem. But my problem with her is that she was fumbling in most important matches or in games that if he just gets this one right, guys, we know which we are going through. So for me, that was disappointing, blind.
I've got a view, and some will agree with me.
The team struggled.
They understand. This view, not playing at the World Cup, did Andile a lot of good.
Yeah.
The problem Kaylin Swart had, Andile would have also had at the World Cup. There's a
we don't know. It's speculation.
No,
Right?
you might
speculation.
have a point, Malma Kuzo. Yeah,
But
because
that's
like now it's
speculation,
like
guys.
it is speculation, but you are always going to be judged better in your absence than when you are present and making faults. Because if you look at the key saves that Kaylin made, I really hope we are still just angry at the sloppy mistakes, the mistakes that we think are sloppy. Okay, Lavon. But it's that thing, Andile she's still benefiting from the fact that she wasn't given a chance. Like it's a Mata type of situation. Like we are always going to look at her and say that missed opportunity. We don't know if she would have been at her peak or if it would have been Messi as Kaylin or Messi, yeah. But she does definitely benefit from the fact that she didn't play.
And can I say, to elaborate, the problem that she would have faced World Cup would have been as big as we had a team. That team is a cheat code. Kind of Netherlands.
Oh, Sweden.
They are so big that it comes down to the keeper, which the players won't do anything. Please save us. We can't. It would have been under so much pressure that Lena should have conceded from headers. I'm telling you guys, I've seen it when I was critical of Ukune, but I understand. I actually thought Mulumanda was a tall player, or Morgan Gold rather was a tall player. When these guys from over come through, Morgan Gold is actually average. They even the midfielders, even Bobo Casimiro, are as tall as Morgan Gold. You're like, how is a midfielder this tall? You understand? Yeah.
My point is different to you guys. Mine is we literally just saw Kaylin Swart being nominated for goalkeeper of the year, Hollywood Bets, and
Right.
we also know that she played all of the games at the World Cup again, and we also know that even in these past few games or whatever, that ever since we've come back, she's been playing. So numbers wise, I would put her ahead of Andile. Outside of the fact that Wandile had an incredible run, CAF Champions League, if that makes sense. So, because Ukailin, when you speak World Cup, it's her. When you speak League, Kimo, she's in the nominated people. So clearly, right? When you speak Banyana Games, it's been mostly her. So then, how then does Wandile jump her with less games and less? You get what I mean? And I'm not saying that Andile is bad, or maybe she could be better than Ukailin. But when you look at the amount of games and what has been done, we give credit to Banyana for the World Cup, but we hold Kaylin to the side. We hold Kaylin to the side when we're congratulating them. And then we put Andile in front, even though Andile begangeko. I can't give you points when you haven't been there.
It's not a fault, Mara. She didn't make it.
Begangeko. Whether it's her
But
fault
it's
or
not
not,
a fault.
begangeko.
But it's not a fault, guys. If the coach doesn't want you, what must she do?
But
And we know
it is,
this
it is.
is
But when we come to
related situations on
But
that
when we
one.
come to play of
We
the
know,
year,
we don't.
when we come to play of the year, I can't give you points just for being there. Ukocha ketaka. So guys, I can't.
but look,
Whether you're better
okay.
or whether you're good or not, bongeko.
Yeah,
But
but
okay,
also
she
aside from
brought
that,
home
like
silverware.
Kaylin was in the initial nominations. She just didn't make the short list. So maybe you guys can educate us on how the short list works, because quite a lot of people got cut from the short listing. Lisha Mase is not there now in the Young Player of the Year nomination, and I'm just like, I was rooting for her so much because she had such a great season. Okay, Lawan. But she's not. She didn't make the short list. So the same applied to Kaylin. She didn't make the short list, and now like Khizetseka Andile, and it is what it is.
And it's not to say Andile is a bad player, guys. Andile is not a bad player. I can picture you anywhere. But when it comes to awards, guys, we cannot be unfair to those that have had to play the games. That's what I'm saying. Like, if it came down to everybody played the same amount of games, I'm good. But
if I may ask, if I may ask the OT of the other goalkeepers who are nominated, how many games did they play in the World Cup?
All I know is that I think who Armici is, she's the Morocco keeper, so she played in that World Cup, if I'm not mistaken. They played in the World Cup, maybe it was 3 games, and then she's been playing, she plays for ASFAR Rabat, so she's probably played the same amount of games as Andile, Champions League.
So are you gonna say because of 2 games? Because
no,
I think
she also plays league for her team fully.
Yeah.
So when you look at everything, she's played more games than Andile.
But
they finished second, WAFCON.
But
And
if
then-
I may get there, Mr. Mokoena. Sundowns played one game more. So continentally speaking, because we are speaking about, I don't think when it's continental thing, we consider local leagues that much for me, because there's different standards for me personally. So and if you look on the big stage,
That's
I would
unfair,
say
guys.
no, it's not unfair because the levels are different.
But it's unfair.
How are the levels different?
Hey, don't go back, please, Malumeko, please
There are
don't
many
go
things.
back.
There are many things.
You can't
No,
pretend
but
you don't understand.
Can
No,
I say
but
something?
it's still
Can I say
numbers.
something?
Like for me, it's
Can I
still
say something?
numbers.
Can I say something? and I say something. When we look at the best player, right? Let's talk on the men's side. Let's talk on the men's side. Are we gonna judge? Let's say, are we gonna judge a player based on Sundowns won the league here, or are we gonna say he was the best because Sundowns did well? You know,
No, it's two different situations. What I'm saying is, if we both went to the World Cup and you played 2 games more than me, great.
Yeah.
No. Actually, she didn't play any games in the World Cup one deal. So I've played more games there. We go to the Champions League and we've played the exact same number of games. I guess if you don't count the third place playoff, then Andile has one more game, right? Then I've also played league. Because now we were asking about Ubusija. Maybe I don't know how Andile did in the league or how many games she played, but I'm guessing Busija had games. I'm not saying that she's a bad player. I'm saying that it's unfair because the other player has had more places where it could go wrong to play. You get what I mean? So at international level, Champions League level, we've played the same number of games. You finished first, I finished third. In the World Cup, you didn't play anything. I've played 3 games, right? So if it's all equal, would you not look at the club?
No, for me, okay, let me let Abutikuzo speak.
No, 4 games. They went beyond first level. They didn't play 3, they played 4.
Buffing?
Morocco, I think.
Oh,
Morocco.
yeah, 4. Yeah, so you see. Anyway.
So now for me, I'm on some. I don't consider, I'm speaking for myself, I don't consider leagues, you know, when you're talking about continental honors, you know.
But those are more games, more time, more legs, more things. You still have to play 90 minutes.
I won't. Can I ask you a hypothetical question?
Okay.
If Rulani goes invincible in the league, right? And doesn't win CAF Champions League, let's say Al Ahly wins it. Who are you gonna give the best coach to?
What did Al Ahly do in their league?
Let's say even if they come second.
No, I'm saying what did Al Ahly do in their league in this situation?
Let's say Al Ahly comes second, or even yeah.
Rulani all day.
No.
Rulani all day. He's invincible in his league. He came second. You came second in your league, and you won the Champions League. You beat me.
He's invincible. He's invincible in the fourth. I don't know if the current starts, but the last time I checked, PSL was what, the third or the fourth or fifth best league. He's invincible there.
What's the Egyptian league?
The Egyptian league is number 1. It's not number 1. The continent.
I don't know. I think
it's number 1.
What I'm saying is, we went to a final. You beat me in the final. You won the thing. So we played there same. In my league, where I had to play, whether we like it or not, I have to play 30 games. I went invincible. You came second in your league. So I've matched you, come second in the final, and I've gone invincible at home. I'd give it to Rulani.
No.
But Oti, don't you think if the one who won Champions League was in the same league as Urulani, don't you think Urulani would have been invincible?
Thing is, I don't know. We can't say that. I'm going with the facts that we have. You get what I mean?
That's why let's put aside a local league and then go to continental football, because even the word says it's Champions League football.
And I came second. We got to the final. You beat me in the final. So for me, you're not that far away from me. Then from that point, I look at everything else and I say, okay, what does your league look like? Mamelodi Sundowns did an invincible. That is crazy. You came second in your league. So you guys are making it seem as though when the Champions League guy beats the guy in the final, How many
times has Sundowns won the team of the year?
Yes.
Team of the year where?
In Africa.
2016.
I don't know, 2016? Why?
Yeah,
what's the point?
My point is Sundowns has been dominant in our local league, and it has been dominant it has been dominant also in CAF. But
How many times have they lost in the final?
No, but okay. So you're saying,
guys,
let's,
you
okay,
see,
let's say,
So it's about winning.
let's say this. So they got lost. They lost in the semifinals. You know, and they went unbeaten in the entire campaign, CAF, obviously, and they won the league, and still they're not the best team in Africa.
But they
That's
lost
not
in the
fair.
semis. This is not your hypothetical.
No, they lost in the semis. They won the
Yes,
league, but they were
I've
not
won.
nominated as the best team in Africa.
Did you want them to win it?
So
I don't
OT should have.
understand.
I get it.
Wait, guys, maybe
no.
it's not making sense. Wait, let me ask somebody else to explain it to me. Maybe it'll make sense.
Can I
Can
ask
somebody
you-
else explain what Agent is saying?
Can I ask Agent a question relevant to what he asked? Who
Yeah.
won it?
I think was it Ali or was it Waded? But it wasn't Sundowns.
But yeah, it wasn't Sundowns. But who won it? And
Can I
Yeah. Okay,
can
let
I
me just-
check?
No,
Can
you
I?
don't have
I
to.
think
You
the
don't-
person,
you
the
don't
team
have
which won.
So you don't have to, because I'll explain why I asked. I'm
Yeah.
asking Uguti, maybe avoid where you comparing Kanaking something to itself, only to find out Uguti, the person who actually won it also went on a rampage in their local league and also won the Champions League. You understand? You might find out that's the situation, because we know Al Ahly always does the most. So they might come.
Was it not?
However,
Yeah.
I agree with you, right? I agree with the point that you're trying to put across, to say there are levels to this thing, and I feel like there's an acceptance on all of us to say, okay, we also have to scrutinize the league. I'll take it to UEFA, where you can't say I've won the Belgian league back to back, kind of invincibly so, therefore I deserve a nomination. But if you can say I won the EPL invincibly so, then you deserve a shout out. You deserve a mention. If you've won La Liga, you can use it as a kind of an amplifier of your strength. on the continent.
And when you're saying that, and when you're saying that, can I say something on Abutikuto's point? When you're saying that, how many Ballon d'Ors? Let's exclude this one. We know England is the best team in the league, you know, but how many best players are coming from there? Who has the last Ballon d'Or winner there?
Okay.
Or does that make the French league stronger than the EPL because Messi won?
Okay.
And that's why I said exclude this one, because this one was based on World Cup.
Right, that's why I'm like, no, do you know what? Give it to Rulani. Check, Agent, you know what? Give it to Rulani. I'd give it to, no, wait, guys. I'd give it to Rulani, because how many teams have gone invincible on the continent? In any of the poor leagues or whatever. That's why I'm giving it to him. Or I'd give him a big shout. It's not him just winning the league. It's invincible. You get what I mean? Us as Arsenal fans cry about invincibility ever since, right? Because it's something that hasn't been done. If Sundowns won 30 games, I don't care what league you guys say they come from, it's 90 points, 30 games. That is insane, because you play the volume of games that you play. You get what I mean? Now, if you had said to me, Al Ahly won their league and they also won their league maybe by 5 points, 3 games to play, right? I'd give it to Al Ahly. You get what I mean? But you said second, they came second. This team has an invincible season. And the only difference is a 90-minute game, or what, if depending on how they want that year to be, a 90-minute game. What if that game, Al Ahly won it 1-0 over 2 legs? Do you put that into your equation when you say, Sundowns may actually be a very strong team and they lost out by sheer luck? What if it's penalties? You get what I mean? But Oksalayo, he'd have an invincible season. That's never been done as far as I know. You get me?
Mr. Oti, I'm with Agent on this one, even though he doesn't get it. If your PSL is swag, and we can agree with you, actually there is a chance of we can't then put that into the equation against a stronger league.
Malume Kuto, it's invincible. No. I'm not saying it's a league. It's invincible. It's never been done before. Even that strong league, guys.
very
Cool, so-
important to look at who does it, and where do they do it. For example, if we're looking at back-to-back Champions Leagues in Africa, it's not the same as back-to-back Champions League in Europe because of the strength of the teams there. You can see with
But then on a coefficient, if the African team went unbeaten all season. No, Udga, unbeaten all season. Pito was the 10th best coach in the world, according to the rankings when he won. Now, can you imagine if it was completely unbeaten?
Yeah,
You don't rank it. You don't rate it.
He still wouldn't be the first, Mr. Uti, because like I said, earlier
Okay.
on, like I
Okay,
said,
Balube Kuto. But he goes completely unbeaten, then meets the best team in the Club World Cup final and loses by 1 goal.
I think we're getting out of topic. My argument was let's not talk about hypotheticals. For me, I'm on some continental continental awards. They should be based on international performance. That's why you have league awards.
Only.
For me, because that's why you have league awards.
So if I don't play one game, you remember when Al Ali won that thing without playing anything in Egypt? No games. They got to those things. They won. I think they won that season, if I'm not mistaken. They got to that thing. Egyptian league was, you're going to penalize the team that's played more games, whether it's poor or less or poor or better.
Against the age mates, you failed. That's the bottom line. The age
Guys.
mates did better.
90
Mano
minutes
for
is 90
mano.
minutes. But it's fine.
Mano for mano, you failed. For
No,
me.
mano for mano, I was with you like this. You beat me in a final. And then when we go home, you came second. I went invincible. So for me, the invincible one, but that's fine.
That's what I'm saying. Let's not go away from the hypotheticals. The point,
That's
like I said, like
hypothetical.
Abuti Kuto was saying, like Abuti Kuto was saying, maybe I am giving an example, a bad example, but my point is, awards should be based on what you did internationally. For me, against your yeah,
Okay,
you know,
let me
hence,
ask you this. Let me ask you this.
hence, can I say this? Hence, for the longest of times, some of us advocated for splitting categories. That there must be the best player based in Africa and the best player, you know, because it was kind of unfair. You know, hence it was difficult for you, like right now, you know, let's say Malepe played well. He wasn't gonna win it over what is this person who's playing abroad? Katlana, you know, because of the levels. Even if he did well, they won everything. But the fact that Katlana is playing at a higher level.
If Jwaneng Galaxy gets to a final and loses, does Murebuli deserve the coach of the season or not?
Never.
Jwaneng gets to the Champions League final and loses.
Let me ask this again. Let me ask this again in a different way. Right?
No, before you ask me,
But
if Ramu Rebuli this season gets to the final and loses with Jwaneng Galaxy in the final, right? Is he nominated? Does he win?
For most South African, he wins because they'll tell you about some resources, limited resources and stuff.
But isn't that what you're looking for? We're looking for exactly. No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Wait. I love that. That's what I'm saying. With the resources that he had, he came from Botswana and he got to the final. Therefore, in coaching, I would give him more. You get what I mean? That's what I'm saying. That you guys are saying poor league.
He takes it because we've had these arguments about our team. So with limited resources, I think he deserves it because sometimes the best player. So
let's take it back to the league. Richards Bay next season takes Sundowns to within 2 points, second in the league. Right? Who do you give coach of the season?
Guys,
Who?
no doubt.
Agent.
Hi guys.
Run.
Okay.
I
Okay.
can't
We
run.
also have to consider our games at Yellow Sundowns.
Agent.
Because Sundowns will be competing in
Yes,
Africa.
I would
and
That's
also
what I'm
Championship
saying.
Guys,
League.
wait,
I can't hear
guys.
you.
Agent.
Sir,
Yeah,
yes, sir.
I was trying to get everyone's attention. Kuni. Mr. OT.
Guys.
Mr. OT. I think this would capture exactly what Agent wanted to capture. If I'm wrong, he'll address me. Does Timbers deserve the Ballon d'Or?
Does Timbers Zwane played in
What?
a World Cup final? If Timbers
That's
Zwane
the
played
way-
in a World Cup final, would he deserve it or not?
Does Timbers deserve a Continental Player of the Season?
When? Last season, this season?
Whichever
No, he
season.
doesn't, because they
Wow.
haven't
No,
even
he
made the
doesn't.
final.
They were called semi-finals, Musakef Champions League, and he was doing extremely well.
If he made the final, what would you say?
Exactly. So there's more strength.
I
playing
get it,
on
you said the final. I get it, the whole
the
point of this
semi-final.
started with it's two teams,
Okay,
one
okay.
got beaten in the
I
final.
think Kucho, what Kucho is saying, give me the last African best player to win. And
What do you-
remember,
in
others,
terms of?
Al Ali teams have been winning Champions Leagues, they've been winning the Egyptian leagues,
Mm.
and then someone wins, Mo Salah wins EPL and is the best player of Africa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have they been to a Club World Cup and won it?
No, hey,
No.
I thank you. You're driving the point home that
No,
Al
I'm
Ali
trying
wins-
to show
Al
you.
Ali-
No, I'm
Al
trying
Ali
to show you this
wins
level.
the league.
If
Al Ali wins
okay,
Champions League. Al Ali
Mohammed-
goes out in the semi-finals of Club World
Mohamed
Cup.
Salah wins
And
the
still-
league, English league. Then there's an
Yes.
African player who goes unbeaten in their league and then goes to the Club
that's-
World Cup.
that's
No, okay,
hypothetical.
wins the league and then goes to a Club World Cup. I think it's hypothetical. Club goes to a Club World Cup and then wins the Club World
Forget the
Cup.
hypothetical question.
Let's leave hypothetical.
Guys, it's hypothetical.
Let's leave hypothetical. Let's
There's an
talk.
actual scenario about Al
Let's talk the actual scenario now. Let's talk scenarios that Al Ali under Pizzo wins the Egyptian league. Let's say they win Champions League. They got knocked out. Was it quarters or semi-finals? I think semi-finals.
semi-finals or finals.
Of what?
Yes, I think it was semi-finals.
Club
They
World
became
Cup.
number 3
guys,
in the world.
guys,
And
guys,
still,
guys,
there
guys.
was no Egyptian
Became
player
number
who played for Al
No,
won
there
the best
isn't. No,
player.
Uta, there isn't anybody who deserves it. I want to go back to your question. Your question was Rulani goes invincible and then
Let's not talk
loses.
hypothetical.
No, I'm going back to the whole point of what I'm
Mr.
saying.
OT.
What
Mr.
you
OT.
said was, wait, guys, wait. What you asked me was, Rulani goes, you said this, Rulani goes invincible, and then loses in the final of the Champions League. And you asked me, and then that team that won the Champions League finished second in their league. Then you asked me, who would I give the award? And I said Urulani, because he's done something that has never been done. Now, in your example, if Mohamed Salah wins the EPL alone, Al Ali goes and wins their league, they go and do that, then they do the impossible, quote unquote, of winning the Club World Cup. I would give it to that coach, to that player, or whoever, if that's the main player. I would give it to that main player because they have done what is impossible for them. Mohamed Salah winning the league is not out of the ordinary. Winning the treble, or not treble, winning the league invincible is, for me personally, so out of the ordinary. No. Now, if you had said to me,
let's consider,
Rulani
say,
won
give a
the
better example.
league.
Let me
Yes,
say, give
Rulani
a
won.
better example. Let's say you're correct and I'm wrong, and let's say in the scenario is fine. I take your point. I
Okay, say
concede. I
Rulani
give a
won the
better
league.
example.
Say Rulani just won the league. He doesn't deserve it.
But Mr.
If he
OT,
just
you're
won the
forgetting
league,
why
guys,
you're
any
forgetting
day.
why. Wait, you're forgetting why the scenario was placed before you. It was placed before you because of Ibanyana Banyan. Don't lose, not Banyana Banyan, but women's football. Don't lose, don't be lost in the semantics of the scenario, right? Of the approach. You were only asked about Urulani's magical performance to illustrate that continental football is as important.
What was the point of it? What was the point of it? I get we're speaking about Andile.
Mr. Oti, hear me out. You were only asked about the magical run Rulani to illustrate that local league is a far smaller stage.
No, but explain it in the context. I've lost that context. Explain it in the context of what was being spoken about? Was it about Andile versus Kaylin Swart? Was it about?
It was about Andile's performance versus Kaylin Swart.
And what did I say? What did I say when we spoke about that?
Wait, Mr. OT, I can remember. We're going home. We're going home now. It's time to go back home to women's football. The point was,
I still made the same point, is what I'm trying. Well, anyway, go ahead.
It wasn't even about necessarily Kaylin Swart, but Andile being nominated on the continental stage.
And I said it's unfair.
Whereas there's a lack of games in the local league. So agent was just saying, guys, the continental stage is a far bigger stage, and we cannot use the microscope to source out more information into the leagues and say, actually, she didn't play well, we league. You understand? And you'll correct me if I'm wrong. So now, the magical run was just to exaggerate the point, to say, it's just to show you which the local league is not as important as a continental showpiece. And what you then further went on to Abu Al-Ahli to show you, which if someone does well on the main stage, if you end up getting someone on not only on the main stage, but on the bigger stage, on a bigger stage, like maybe an EPL of some sort, they will only have this preference, which is why Umo Salah will win the African Ballon d'Or, if there's such, over a Percy Tau who performed at World Cup. You understand?
But remember, the point we're making. No. Remember, the point we're making was Morocco's keeper played as many games as Andile in the Champions League. Again, so Andile played 5 games. The Morocco keeper played 5 games. Andile won. They came third. Ne? Then what I said was at the World Cup, Morocco's keeper played all of those games. Ne? Andile didn't play any of those games. So now we're sitting in a situation where I've come third continentally, cool. But now I've played in the World Cup too. So do I get downgraded because when now you won the trophy, whereas I have more games at another level? You get what I mean? As well, on top of me coming third, right? Then I said, that's when you delve into the league. Because I was like, it would be unfair at that point for Andile, who maybe, I don't know, we need to check. Andile's played 7 games in the league, and I've played 30. You get what I mean? So when you judge B, you see Andile ka trophy. You don't see that Andile played half of the games that I played. And those things play into everything else. So I was saying that because of her World Cup performance, that Moroccan keeper, whatever, right? She may be much closer to Andile, who's won the Champions League, because in the same competition, she was close. Now we go to extra things, right? That's where the magical run becomes a thing for me, because I'm like, in my eyes, if you've done something more, like going to the World Cup, actually playing in the World Cup, Morocco made it out of the group stages. There's only been 1 African country that has done that. For me, that adds points to the Moroccan keeper. You get what I mean? I'm not arguing strength.
For me, my point is, if you're going to look for extras, let's look for extras on the continental showpiece.
World Cup, we're doing player of the season. World Cup and AFCON.
Listen,
guys.
What I'm saying is, I think it goes back to the point that some people...
Wait. And she made the semifinals of the WAFCON. She made the semifinals of the WAFCON as well.
Can I say this? It goes back to the conversation that it was had last year, right? I know I'm going to be called a double agent for this, but still it's fine. I'm used to it. But it was a conversation of who wins the player of the season. Is it Mokoena or is it Saling?
And what did we say? Malume Kuto, what did you say? Who did you say was supposed to win that?
Salam alaikum salam.
Did they win the league?
No, Bamropi.
Why Bamropi?
They just don't like you.
You see, he's the agent. You see, that's somebody who was on your side. Mokoena won the league, and then Malume Kuto says Bamropi. Why? Because Saleng had a better performance.
But actually, Mr. OT, I think this would go against your argument because
No. I
the-
want to show
no,
you.
the argument that people made was that the league is the more important stage in cups.
Yes. I disagree. And you disagree too.
Ah,
But
I have a question also. I have a question.
I'm against the shifting of the post. I'm against the shifting of the post.
No, I'm staying with what I said. All I'm saying is, for me, I was trying to show you Malume Kuto in a different situation still goes with Saleng over Mokoena, who won. Now that's why I was asking him why, because my point was, if Saleng had the better season, he should be the player of the season, whether or not another team has won or not. We've seen that before.
But what carries more weight? The reason
Okay,
why.
but then
at the risk of
Okay, let's hear Clara. Can you hear Clara?
with
Yeah,
the conversation so excuse me, with the conversation like comparing the leagues and how it weighs. Chiamaka is playing in the Champions League, in the Women's Champions League. Does that then tilt the scales because it's a higher standard that side than the two of these ones? So then it's settled then for the hierarchy will affect whether a player wins or not.
and it's good for the image I have, by the way.
I personally, that's why I said, me personally, I don't believe it, because there are other things that you have to take into account. So the reason why I always feel as though best players, Ballon d'Ors, and all those things are false is exactly why I asked about Zwaneng, for example. If he goes to the final, whether he loses it or not, he should win the Coach of the Year, because he's done something that could not have been done with the resources. Same as everything else, because as much as we say Liverpool, Salah could get injured for 5 games, hypothetically, and Liverpool could carry on doing what Liverpool is carrying on doing. And they have more resources, they have better players around him. There's so many different factors that go into that. So that's why I've always been against winner takes all, because winner might take all for a whole different things. If Richard Bay, if Richard Bay goes from number 13, number 14 to number 2, 5 points within Sundowns, I'm giving it to that coach. You get what I mean? Like, I understand the other stuff. You've got your trophy for doing what you needed to do, but we tend to forget a lot of different things when we have these conversations, and it starts skewing. For me, the best player is the person who had the best performance of the season, right? It shouldn't be down to teams, because when we get into the muddy waters of teams, I could also say, because Sundowns comes from a very poor league, the fact that they're doing what they're doing at the level that they're doing it at is incredible, because Al Ahly gets to sharpen their swords versus better teams, you know? I don't know, you're asking...
Yeah.
Because look at it this way: if a struggling Chiefs could reach a final, how is PSL a lower league?
No, but that's incredible. If Chiefs won that, if Chiefs won the Champions League.
You can't.
No, if Chiefs won the Champions League in a transfer ban. Wait. If Chiefs won the Champions League in a transfer ban season where they couldn't sign players, with a coach that it's his first year. Guys, I'd give it to Gavin Hunt. Same as I'd give it to anybody else. If Rulani went all the way to the final,
it goes to your point. It goes to your point that Chiefs lost in the final with a transfer ban, with a new coach and stuff like that. Why did they win the Team of the Year?
Because they came 10th in the league.
Nah.
They came 10th, guys.
Nah.
You guys keep changing the example. If Chiefs was number 1 in the league and came second in CAF, I would say yes, Chiefs deserves it because they've done well on two fronts.
So don't you say a team which finished 10th in the league with a transfer ban and with all against all odds?
But they're not the best performing because there was one place where they didn't perform. Now, if it's 2 teams that have performed, that's why I kept telling you about the Rulani thing. If Rulani just won the league, in your example, if he just won the league and then he came second, he deserves to be a nominee. He doesn't deserve to win it, right? But if he's done something crazy, if Gavin Hunt was number 2 in the league and then got to the final, hands down, I'd hand it to him because of the other context around it. That's my thing. You guys just go winners take all. Whether the winners won like this, whether the losers lost like this. That's my issue with when we have these conversations.
But like also, I want to ask something.
Mr. Uti, I think on case ga Andile first, I think Uti mentioned it and it wasn't a choice to sit on the bench. Yeah, but if you're going to include the World Cup, I select it.
Okay, must injured players get a benefit of the doubt? So if I get injured, if Saleng got injured halfway through the season last year, does he still benefit? And we say, hi, but because he did well. You get me? Because my argument in the beginning was very simple. I've played 10 games, you've played 30, right? I've had 20 more chances for things to go wrong for me. And you've had the 10. It's unfair. That's what I'm saying. So Andile Agasketang, it's unfair. She didn't. But that doesn't automatically mean that Andile, because then what performance are we leaning on to make that you get me? You understand?
On the other tournament where he got selected, he did wonders.
But I've played 2 tournaments, you've played 1. I've done well in 2, you've done well in 1. Why do you deserve to be over me? That's what I'm trying to say, guys. Why do you deserve to be over me?
I think let's just say, hey, who wanted to win? Yeah, let's give it to him. Eh? I think it's my first time in a long time speaking for this long.
No,
I'm tired.
But agent, honestly speaking, agent, you work somewhere. You do twice the work of somebody, and then it comes to the end. Okay, they get off sick for 6 months, right? Come the awards company, they say, Yazin, Malume Kuto did so well. Malume Kuto was a 10 out of 10 for 6 months. You were an 8 out of 10 for 12, right? Would it be fair for me to then give the award to that person when you may not have been at the top for all of the time, but your average over all those games is way high? Would you be okay with that?
Yeah, but if we could compare
question, guys.
Champions League. Okay, let's just compare Champions League. How many goals did Andile consider as compared to Rival?
She didn't concede a goal.
Considered twice or
Twice.
once. Yeah. So how about we compare amateur tournament about League in this case? Because now he was.
Why are you striking out the other tournament, guys? That's unfair. Guys,
Why was he not there? Why was he not there?
He's saying let's look at all the games they played. Who considered more? Who considered more? Who considered less? Let's look at the save percentage and stuff like that.
Okay, then I ask you, guys, there's periphery stuff. The Moroccan league is 2 years old. So are you going to get the same quality of player as even the Hollywood Bets that has been around for a while and into Sasol?
So you agree that quality matters?
And the same team, yes, that's what I'm saying. And the quality sometimes
hence you are saying we shouldn't count the league.
So if my defense has less tackles, less everything, and I concede more, right? Am I now at fault for everything else? And then you play for a team that maybe defensively doesn't get any pressures. What happens then? Because then when you go to stats, then I can point to your defense and say, you are under pressure more times than the other player. Because maybe your team is not strong. Guys, there's context. I'm arguing for context.
No, it goes again to what I always say in my personal opinion, right? Okay. So let me ask you a question. The problem is Peterson is a bad example. Who can I give?
Use Kune.
No.
No, I know where you're going. Use Kune.
No, I don't want Kune. Like what I'm saying, let's say Sipo China, right? For me, the best, I'm talking about me. For me, the best goalkeeper is not necessarily the one with the most clean sheets per se. I want to look at other goalkeeping attributes to say this one is the best goalkeeper. How many shots did you? How many shots?
That's what I'm saying.
Face?
That's
how
exactly
many
what I'm saying.
You know, and again, it should
so if
be.
Andile faces
and it
5
should be
and
a
I
relative
face
comparison.
25.
Let me finish. It should be a relative comparison, right?
Okay.
It shouldn't be a case of you played 10 games, I played 5 games.
That's not
Okay,
what I'm
in those games that
saying.
you played, let's look at ratios. Hence, I go back to the maths for me.
And that's cool, but I'm saying that I could pay, in the next 5 games, you could have gotten 10 more shots. You could have gotten 0 more shots. We don't know. So I can't attribute those extra games to you. You get what I mean? So it's like the shots thing that you're talking about. If you face 5 shots in 5 games and I face 25 shots in 5 games, right? I've faced five times more shots than you faced, right? And then there's context. So maybe your defense is very good, right? My defense sucks. We look at their things and we go, "Ay, gate. You actually saved them a lot more times. Kaylin versus Andile. Yes, she's made mistakes or whatever, but she's saved so many times on top of that outside of the World Cup, right? So now in those stats, is it fair for me to then just say, yeah, but if Asian played 5 more, he would have automatically not conceded? You get what I mean? Like there's context, guys. There's context. You guys forget the context.
It's not also fair to rely on Amakudevs. Namashudev.
That's what you guys are doing. That's why you say Udale 10 games, Udale 5. You are saying that I must ignore the 5 games that I played extra because I did so well in the first 5. And I'm going, I've got stats that show that in the 10 games, this is what happened. You are saying that no, because she was good in the 5, let's project and say that maybe she would have carried on. You get what I mean? That's what I'm fighting you here. It's the same as when we spoke about Urulan. Remember we spoke about Urulan? Remember we spoke about Urulan. Urulani, when we spoke at the beginning of the season, and I was like, I can't put Urulani up there yet because I don't know what's going to happen. So I can't, with good conscience, compare him to Gavin Hunt. Because with Gavin Hunt, I've got the data. It's unfair for me to take 10 days versus 30 because Gavin had his dips. Gavin had to go through those things, for example, right? So it'd be unfair for me to just automatically say, but Rulan is the one. You get what I mean? And I'm not even saying that he's not the one. I'm saying that we don't know what would have happened.
Guys, I want to ask a question.
Guys,
my question is, I know I'm taking guys out of what you guys are talking about. I want to go to the interclub player of the year. My question is it a wrong mindset to think that a guy like Mudau deserves to be there?
Interclub.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Mudau deserves to be either a nominee or I'm just curious about it. Because I'm checking it and I'm looking at the stats of Shalulile. Last season he scored 12 goals in 21 appearances. This season 3 goals in 7 appearances. But when you look at the consistency of him, Mudau, or the mindset that I'm trying to bring is are we always gonna be? Are we also as Africans, or the way that they select Mama players or whatever? Are we now Africans? Is it based on the European standard, which is always goals, or are we also taking a different direction from them?
Yeah, when Theo, I think if football fraternity as a whole, they look at ama stats like scoring and goal contributions. They don't consider tackles won, goals won. Hence, that's why Abu Dikuto eti bamropa usaleng.
I get to the argument is that Umukwenu winning, therefore, because they won, automatically. That's what I'm saying.
Mr. Oti. I'm saying they're being unfair on Umkwena. They don't count ball, our we need a swing, intersection, aerial balls, our we need. They only count goal.
Did they count that?
That's my problem.
Yeah. They only count goal and assist.
Context, thank you.
Yes. So guningi first. So
that's all I'm saying.
Falls under ilokuzana lento le eyenzeka kumkwena because one-on-one Mudau is the best Africa first. One-on-one,
That's
you
my
can't pass
problem.
you can't pass that guy.
Yes.
And even Uzo Magi Paul and then foot take you on and Uzo Sala foot. So
The context,
the only
the
good thing,
context,
But because Percy plays
the
for Al
context-
Ahly,
the
automatically,
context-
yeah, guys.
the context that was used for the Saleng and Mokoena thing was, what matters more, winning 2 cups and someone winning the league? Looking at who performed better in those 2 cups and who performed better in the league.
Consistent.
Who wins
Should
the
that be
player
looked
of,
into with individual awards? Saleng had 26 goal contributions. So should that be overlooked just because somebody individually won another thing with a team that had already walked the league 6 times?
No,
You know what I mean? And
no.
that could be unfair to
guys,
Sundowns. But I'm
guys,
trying to show you.
No, what I'm saying is, in the context of the player of the season, the argument was the league carries more weight than the cup's performance.
So how much of my okay, let me ask you this, agent. I don't know how you'll contextualize this, but
Yeah.
what would a player have to do individually in a season in order to outweigh the league?
I think it's can I say it depends, right? Hence Oshalulile at some point I think won the player of the season with Highlands Park. Am I not wrong?
Why did he do that? To my point,
because-
guys.
No, because of what he did in the league. He was a top goal
Yes.
scorer. Yes, what we are saying is these things have weights.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said to you, if Rulani had just won the league, I don't think it weighs anything. I kept saying that. No, he doesn't even deserve to win it. That's what I keep saying. That if you
Yes, and
have
then let's
an
go back-
if you have an outstanding, like something that's never been done, for me, I think that weighs a little bit more when you come into putting these things together. That's what I'm saying. That I'm not saying just because he did something he
Then-
needs to. You
then
weigh
let's
it
go
out.
back.
Hypothetical, guys.
Let's go back to the question.
Hypothetical.
We judge-
Wait.
Okay.
A
Yeah.
hypothetical, guys. Let's say Sundowns wins the Champions League, and we know they've already won the league. And then you see performance Yamuda. Is it gonna matter? Is his
No,
performance
like-
gonna ever matter?
I guess I'm on some. What matters is the weight, right? Let's go back to the fact that Odlamini played Kosafa, played Champions League, and then, like I said, continental stuff.
And then the Moroccan keeper
I'm
did the
I'm
exact
asking
same
you that-
thing.
Yes, and then
I'm
that's why,
asking
And
that's
then
why-
on top went to the World Cup.
that's why I'm on some. Let's judge. I'm not saying
Yes,
Odlamini
and then
deserves to
on
win it.
top went
They-
to the World Cup. On
Let's
top.
say
Guys,
I don't add. That
But
is
they didn't
fine.
win
That
the
is
World
fine.
Cup.
That is fine. That is fine.
They
OT,
got
right?
to the same level as us. And
OT.
Randile wasn't playing.
OT, listen to me. I'm not saying that Mini deserves to win the cup or not. What I'm saying is judgment should be on the waiting.
That's
If
what
you
I'm
are saying, right, that player played better in the World Cup, than he played massively well in the World Cup, right?
And
For
Andile
me-
played nothing. And Andile played nothing.
And
Yes.
they played nothing, right? Fine. For me, even if let's say that player didn't do anything club-wise, right? For me, I'm gonna give it to that player because the World Cup carries more weight.
Yes.
Hence, now my whole argument is let's not
Yes,
look
the
at the
agent,
league
you're saying
performance.
me.
Let's just judge all these people based on
No, the
continental.
argument wasn't for the league. I think, okay, now I understand. Nobody was arguing for the league, agent.
No, it was you saying we
No,
go to extras and
The
extras go to the league.
argument was, if all things are equal, if all things are close or equal, then you look at the league. I said about the World Cup, which Andile didn't go to the World Cup. This player played the same amount of games Champions League. Okay? Then I was like, okay, if the weighting of Andile winning the Champions League is that much, what about this one's performance at the World Cup? And if they are equal or close, then let's look at the league. So if then everything is here, Andile then doesn't play in her league. Maybe she plays 10 games. This one
And I
plays
think that's where we
30.
disagree.
All
That's where
of
we
these
disagree.
things should be added up together. If, and like, hear me, if things are equal. So if Sundowns is second in Africa and it was a close game or whatever, then I would say, what did Rulani do? Oh, he went invincible. I will weight that a little bit higher than a second place in Egypt. Then we added them to, that's what I'm saying. The league is the decider. I said, oh, no, I didn't say the league has a high weighting. I said in a decider, you look at all of the other things. You get what I'm saying?
And what I'm saying is in a decider, let's look for other stuff. Let's look at, what is it called? Save percentage. Let's look at
I've played
other
more games than you. That's still unfair. If I've played 15, 20, listen, if I've played 15, 20 more games than you anyway, like what happens then? Because now you're degrading the World Cup win to make sure that this person wins on a context, guys. The defense. What is the defense doing?
Look at this.
Do you look at the defense?
You are stretching it. You're stretching it. Let's look at this.
Guys,
let's say this. No, like let's look at this. For time, I think Joe.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
I'm tired, yo. But for time's sake, it's not like the difference between Andile and that person. Continental-wise, is a case that I was arguing for the Hollywood Bears, where I think the difference is 15 games or anything. I think there is 3 or 4 games, or even less than 3 games. If I can put it that way. Continentally, the difference between the two. Right? Continental, the difference between that coach of Rabat and Damini. Continentally and globally, the difference is less than 3 games.
There's 5 more games World Cup.
Okay. He played how many more? 4 games.
5 more games World Cup, higher level.
Is it 5?
Yeah, 4.
4.
At a World Cup.
Yes. And then this one, they play the same number. So you see the difference in games is 4. There's quality games, yes, right? And then we say, okay, fine, what did you win? Sure.
What does the weighting say, Mara Agent, also? Does World Cup outweigh Champions League?
Going to the semifinals, winning it, going to the finals, that can away.
Guys.
Just you that you got out of the.
That's like saying I won the league, the PSL, and therefore because I won the PSL, you know what? Okay, carry on.
Okay. So that's what I'm like. Even if you want to put that argument, I can agree with the argument that you're trying to put there. That okay, fine. If you look at the performance of both these players on the continental level, they are more or less similar in terms of goalkeeping attributes. I think it's the goalkeeper of the tournament, of the year. In terms of goalkeeping attributes, they are more or less similar, you know? So then we look at, okay, other things, decide us now, you know? These things are deciders for me. You played at the World Cup, you know, and you played well. Then you deserve it as the decider.
Then what will we... Yeah, because you guys said Champions League automatically. That's what I was fighting. You guys said the winner wins, okay?
Yeah, but OT, he also
you see, that's what you guys said in the beginning. Guys.
Mr. OT. No, we all agree that the World Cup is bigger than the CAF Champions League.
Because the argument was that the winner takes all again.
Yeah. The argument was the league.
Then
the argument was the league, not the World Cup.
As an addition to everything that they've done. If it's a tiebreaker, guys. As Ankiri League just counts. That's what I said.
The argument was a misunderstanding with you.
Yes.
Putting the league on the same level or putting it as an auxiliary.
No, it's a tiebreaker. Yes.
So siyavumelana. So
yeah, guys.
World Cup is bigger than anything else. It's bigger than so please respect Coach Des and leave us.
Guys, literally, that's why I was like, "Hi, guys."
Okay, let's end it. Let's see where agreement
starts. Man,
end the day.
You guys,
Coach, I think Coach Billy Booty, you Coach Des deserves help, guys. Let's not let the
Banyana team go the German help. Say it like that. Banyana deserves help.
Let's say it this way. Banyana deserves help. You know, let's not let our Banyana fall. Can I say this? Banyana, let's not let let's speak. Let's not let Banyana. Let's not Banyana fall into the German trap, you know.
Bafana deserves help, not Banyana.
So are we
Banyana
gonna
is not
pull to
one
Banyana?
everything.
Are we gonna pull Banyana to Bafana level? Eh?
Eh,
Who are
eh,
we? Who are we?
That's the
Who are we to go
thing.
to Banyana?
You are
to
doing
no,
Bafana
that.
level?
agent.
You are doing
Banyana
that.
hasn't won the World Cup.
Banyana.
As long as
No,
there's that
guys.
trophy outstanding, we must try give as much help as possible.
But
Banyana,
they
Spain, France, if they can get more help, give it to them.
From who?
They got knocked out on the quarterfinals. Not even Bafana to qualify out of Mokusi.
Now, Bafana must get
Those
help.
are the ones that need help.
Until they win
Those
the
are the
World
ones
Cup,
that need help.
until they win the World Cup, all
Heads
help
off
must
Bafana
come.
Bafana.
All
hands
help
on the
must
deck.
come.
All hands on the deck.
Rolandi must put those in his pocket.
Those
No,
are the question, guys.
I
One
want to
But
put
question.
I
on
think
record. My
can
love
I say this to
for
Kuzo?
Hugo
Can I say this to
Broz
Kuzo?
is
Okay.
equivalent to my love
Kuzo.
for Desiree Ellis. Those
Kuzo, can I say
coaches
this? Can
are
I say
doing
this,
that
please?
for-
Can I say this to Kuzo? Let me say I understand our Ndaki in RC. Once we bring in Coach Shabalala there, he's gonna maybe try and sabotage. I'm not saying he's gonna do that. He might try and
He's gonna
sabotage
run ahead.
Desiree and try and get it. You know, like I get the Ndaki side of things. Right? As a Ndaki, you know, you bring your cousin into the workplace. He's the one who's gonna pimp you to the boss. So I get your argument. Right? Ndaki can that man.
No.
This is why rugby stays ahead,
Baba.
guys. This is why rugby stay ahead.
Can I just say, I've loved football so much. I used to listen to Amar Grootman talk about football, and I'd be critical of the things that they would be saying. So I am picking up all of these bad vibes that went into destroying Bafana Bafana, where Bafana Bafana was about the national team, and then later on became about Chiefs, later on became about Pirates, and then we find ourselves where players are being pushed into a national team and players from overseas are being told that they think they are better, which is why in one of the lives I said, don't fall into that trap of saying these guys were overseas, we don't need them. And I was corrected, or we're not saying we don't need them. We're saying let them sit on the bench. And I said, no, I still hold with you. They can't even sit on the bench.
Wait,
Because
bench?
these local guys, no. These local guys are not as good.
I think Kuto
Wait.
can okay, speak. But I want to say, let's remember the context. Let's remember the context.
I need us to protect the national team from the politics and not open it up to politics about that JWV must have 5 players.
No, that's not it. That one I don't know.
Yes,
No,
I'm saying, I'm not saying that's what you are suggesting, but I'm saying this
Yes.
conduct leads to Chiefs wanting a bigger share, leads
How?
to Sundowns wanting a bigger share,
How?
leads to
Oh no, to agents' argument. You're talking to agents. Let me jump out.
Argument that certain players must be benched. If this is why, Mr. OT, I've clearly and loudly distinguished between you and your agent, because I could tell there's a difference here. I'm taking that one of bringing
okay,
a division
with the
in the national team. No, hear me out, Agent Daffet. I know I'm sounding like a politician, but I'm taking that one of bringing it.
Yeah, I love that you notice it.
Yeah, trust me. I remember what Jaffet's one being pushed into the national team, and I was like, but these guys are not on the Benny McCarthy level. And till today, we don't have a Benny McCarthy level. We don't have a Quentin Fortune level. We have players who now understand that you can be mediocre and get into the national team. That imagine if our players had the mindset that to play for the national team, you must be playing for Manchester. You must be a Manchester United player. Imagine how they would be.
Can I say? I wanted to say.
Sit here today with players thinking, if I play for Mamelodi Sundowns, okay, James, move away from
I wanted to say, I recall the context that we are referring to when we were on some, we don't want foreign-based players.
Exactly.
And then I was part of the crowd which said that. In my defense, the narrative which has been pushed, like back then we didn't understand certain things. The narrative which has been pushed to us these players they think they are bigger than the national team. You know, it's only years later that we learn, no, man, Safa was not playing these players right. They're not doing things the right way. And those guys wanted things to be done the right way. You know, it was years later. But the narrative that's been pushed then was these players think they're bigger than the national team. Hence, the context then was we don't want, Bafana doesn't need foreign-based players. That was the context then.
Exactly. So, I wonder when you notice, if you ask mothers and responsible fathers, and I'm not making suggestions on anything, once a girl starts bathing, Ali one go toilet, does not want to bath in front of the parents, that's when you know it's going down here. This one, she does not want us to see some things. You react immediately. Once you see her asking for lipstick, even boys, once you see him starting to wear skin.
This one doesn't need me. I'm a
Sorry.
Here is Mr.
I'm also
Mukwege,
listening to those thin eyes here.
No, I'm coming back home. Once you see skinny jeans from boys, you know, sapapa. So once you see those elements coming back, whether they come back in the form of constructive criticism, but once we start grouping them and saying these overseas based players are getting a free ride, then I know the problems are coming and they are going to creep in. So as a responsible citizen, as a lover of these national teams, I have to point out, Bafethu, you're going down a dangerous path. We are here, Bafana, because of this very conduct that turned on our own players who wanted to develop the country.
But I think my argument with the Khutsho is there's
I'm gonna close it just now, Jensne. But go on, Agent.
Yes, Desiree Ellis has done great. Right, he has done superbly well. He has done magnificent. All the adjectives that you can think of, right? But that doesn't mean he's immune. Firstly, from help, doesn't mean he's immune from mistakes. Doesn't mean he's immune from criticism. You know. And I think sometimes we like seeing these things. Why can't we borrow from where we see success? Rugby team is successful because of doing certain things, you know. Why can't we adopt such kind of things, you know? Let's say I consider and say maybe let me not say Jerry Chabalala, you know. Let's say can't we borrow from what Coach Rassi does with the other teams? Can we borrow from that because we see that it's successful in rugby? Can we try and apply that in football, you know? So for me, I'm always on against, because the coach is doing well doesn't mean he's immune to criticism. I criticize Rulani and I'm called a double agent. I'm criticizing Desiree now, and I criticize him for the way he treated the girls when they went on a strike. You know, so just because you are successful doesn't mean you are immune. That's my parting point.
But
hey guys.
I promise.
No, he's the last to speak.
I also want to have a closing statement.
Okay.
Yeah,
can I say something before I leave? Can I say something?
To help.
Can I say something? Solani, you will be with me, guys. Sasa I was already conquestors must come along at the group. 40 million Sasa guys.
Guys, I was speaking my share. Let's let Abuti Khutsho's final say, and everyone has final say, and then we leave. You know, I've done my point. Whatever he says, I'm not gonna respond to it. Let's let him speak. Kolani speak. Since Clarence speak, Theo speak, and then the host closes the show, guys.
To help the coach, you have to ask the coach, what are you trying to implement? And if the coach says, I'm trying to implement tiki-taka, then we can say, coach, we'll make a budget available for you so that you can get a Pep-esque or someone related to Pep to at least educate you to say, okay, coach, this is where you are failing to implement what you prefer to do. We cannot say, Pep, we are going to get Ernest Middendorp to help you, which is what you are suggesting. That will lead to something else. That will lead to people gossiping in players' ears saying, why are you kicking along? You should be playing it short here. That will lead to it damage a national team. And Coach Des was criticized before going to AFCON by Posha Mudise saying, Vera Poundon, Coach Des is the champion today. Coach Des was asked, what are you doing? You're going to fail. Go World Cup. Coach Des went to knockout stages. Put some respect on Coach Des, guys.
Guys, closing statements.
No, okay, I just wanted to ask one question. Do you guys still believe in Coach Desiree?
Yeah, we're gonna answer it in the group.
Because for me, I still believe in her. And I think I think we should like give her time and allow her to spot a mistake arc and ask for help, not us suggesting that he needs help. She needs help.
Thank you, my guy. Thank you.
Theo, oh, who's going? Wait, who's going next?
Is that your closing statement? Thank you, my brother.
That's my closing statement.
Okay. Clara?
I think for me, in closing, I hear Malume Khuto's sentiments to say, let's protect our national team. I also hear the sentiment that let the coach ask for assistance, but also we are football lovers, guys. We're not just going to sit by the wayside and see that Banyana has been struggling defensively since the World Cup, and it continues. Olympic qualifiers, they're still struggling. AFCON, they're still struggling. Yes, they are winning, and we're not going to take that away from Coach Des. She has achieved a lot, and I think OT, it's a point that you made in the past, where Coach Des is going to suffer for the success that she has achieved. Because now she has elevated the team to a different level where we are just like, is what got you there going to take you to the next level, or do we need more? And as a football lover, you're not going to sit by the wayside and say, okay, Coach Des, whatever you say goes. Obviously, we respect her. I still have confidence in her, but I think it's easier to maintain a good thing and take it higher than to let it deteriorate and want to build back up. We're still saying, where is the succession plan? Malume Khuto's 5 stars, we are still relying on them quite heavily. I still say the local ladies have a lot to offer, and we need to tap into that quite more. And also, it's that thing to say, as a country, do we have the resources to then say, Coach Des, instead of tapping into Coach Tina's free assistance, if Coach Tina is free, we rather than go pay Emma Hayes from Chelsea to coach you or to assist with the coaching because she's at a higher level. I don't think we have those resources. So we have to be creative on how we're going to move forward, like as a culture. So that's my closing statement. Confidence in Coach Des always and forever.
Hey guys, what an episode. This is why I like the members shows. For me, it's very simple, guys. The best is the best is the best. Try get the best at all times. It's not to undermine someone. You're not undermining somebody when you're bringing in more help. And I think maybe we should stop looking at the national team and maybe even our soccer clubs, football clubs. We should stop looking at our football clubs as our national teams as clubs. Guys, we need to go for the best, right? And everybody needs to be open to that. If it means that sometimes you come to Coach Des and you say, Coach Des, you know what, maybe we could get better here and here and here. You're still head coach, but we could improve here and here and here. Whether it's Coach Des going, you know what, maybe I've seen some things that I could improve. Let me go there, right? Let me go ask. But we need to create a culture where we're not fighting for each other's heads and killing each other just by the mere fact of us being together in a room speaking, right? Rugby, we always speak about rugby. We always speak about all of those things. Rasi doesn't mind sitting down with all of the coaches. They actually have this formalized. Sitting down with all of the coaches. They come and they make their plans together. Hey, you've got this player. I've got this player. I want to get this out of this player. You want to get this out of this player. You know what? There's a synergy there. Let's make sure that we're doing the best for this player. Let's make sure we're doing the best for the team. For me, I'm not questioning Coach Desiree, but actually, I'm questioning Coach Desiree. I am not asking for her to be fired. Same way when we've spoken about different coaches in the PSL. Sometimes you need to question so that we can get even better. It's not about just, hey, they're going to lose or they're losing. No, sometimes you want to take a 1-0 to a 2-0, a 2-0 to a 3-0. Do you know why? A 3-0 in the continent may equal a 1-0 at the World Cup. A win at the World Cup, a win that takes you to the semis, takes you to the finals and does all of that. But you need to be open to getting better. And we're not open to that. Nobody's saying that Jerry must take over her job. Coach Cherry must take over a job. Nobody's saying any of the 16 coaches are there to take over a job. In fact, those people shouldn't be looking at it like that. It should be to the best of our country. And where we lose it a lot of the times with our black sports, quote unquote, we lose it where we go, I am not going to call in Malume Khutso because I may lose my job to this. Malume Khutso is not going to come and assist me because tomorrow George is going to be taking shine for what Malume Khutso helped with in the back. What we should be doing is going, what is good for our sport? You get what I mean? That's what we need to be doing. And I feel like it comes down to a lot of our own psychology, a lot of our own lived experiences, down to a lot of things that we need to fix as ourselves, where then we can start doing these things where we don't move with that competition. Maybe it does become a situation where Khutso may not get the credit for having assisted me, but he's compensated. Right? Maybe it is a situation where maybe because Des might be the best person, might not be the best person for the job, she moves on, right? There's also that struggle that we have in South Africa where Coach Des might not be bad. Maybe there's better. Maybe we can bring in better. Should it be wrong to do that? You get what I mean? And not saying that she should be, don't get me wrong, guys. But we have those issues as a people, as a country, and that's what holds us back a lot, man. It's not to say that Coach Des, maybe Coach Des could be an incredible technical director. She's at all of the games. She knows all of these things. She's got things. All of these things are options, but all of these options should be exercised to the best of Banyana, to the best of our national team. Whether it be Banyana, under 15, under 17, national team, Amachimbos, as long as we're moving forward. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me. That was a Fury members only show. That was good. This is what happens, guys. Those who are watching, this is what happens on the WhatsApp group all the time. It's really great. We get to sharpen each other's views and things like that, which is a very good thing when we're sitting in these type of conversations. It's also good that it shows that we can disagree and fight and all of that stuff, and we're still good. I'm assuming, guys, we're still good. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you to those who are watching. I'll see you then tomorrow. Oh, Tio. Sasa. Hey, Sasa Genatina. But I'll see you guys then tomorrow for the Chiefs match. Bye, guys.